This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You're working from home. You settle in with a cup of coffee, ready to get the day started. Before you look at that to-do list, turn on your favorite Odyssey sports station on your smart speaker. We'll keep you company and bring you the latest updates from your teams while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Power through the workday with the entertaining sports coverage you love from the local voices you trust. Just ask your smart speaker to play your favorite station.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on?
We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4,177. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are the men's room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, the men's room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV time with Tim. Click, clack. Ring-a-ding-dong. All right, here we go. A man whose car was about to be repoed straps a propane tank to the hood to try and blow it up. Meanwhile, a California family's backyard is destroyed. The culprit, a coyote pup. To Victoria, where a woman breaks into a home, takes a shower, and will not leave. Yes, officer, one too many margaritas at Chili's is why my car did weave. And a woman gives birth to twins that she can't tell apart. Hey. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, I do not love oatmeal. I do not hate oatmeal. Oatmeal is just okay. But look, if I do find myself with a steamy bowl of mush in front of me, I just add a little cinnamon and it's much better. And yes, I know that adding cinnamon to oatmeal is not some groundbreaking food hack. It's actually pretty typical and not very exciting. Unless you accidentally confuse cumin for cinnamon. A guy recently went viral after he accidentally made what he dubbed fajita spiced oatmeal. You see, instead of grabbing the cinnamon, he grabbed the cumin, and well, you can do the math. Now, he's not alone, of course. People came out of the woodwork to share their similar fails. Cumin and sugar toast, pumpkin spice in their guacamole, replacing regular milk with vanilla milk in their hamburger helper, mistaking 1.5 tablespoons of black pepper for 15 tablespoons, raw pork on a charcuterie board, confusing salt for sugar, and on it goes. But getting a recipe wrong, overcooking or undercooking food, that's not the only way to mess up a meal. Last weekend, 30 people eating at an Elks Lodge, well, they were injured when a drunk driver plowed into the restaurant. At a Chipotle in California, a food fight broke out as people were trying to enjoy lunch. And in a swanky Manhattan restaurant, diners had their meals interrupted when a former employee jumped on a table and started yelling at them after they dumped a bag of turds into the restaurant's koi pond. You can't make this stuff up. This is what happens. But all of these things, whether somebody messed up a recipe, burnt the food, dropped it in the trash, somebody got naked and interrupted your dinner, all we want to know today is who ruined the meal and how did they ruin it?
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You're working from home. You settle in with a cup of coffee, ready to get the day started. Before you look at that to-do list, turn on your favorite Odyssey sports station on your smart speaker. We'll keep you company and bring you the latest updates from your teams while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Power through the workday with the entertaining sports coverage you love from the local voices you trust. Just ask your smart speaker to play your favorite station.
What does innovation sound like? It sounds like the luxury of being in the moment with your customer, client, or patient. It sounds like having the right information right when you need it. It sounds like being at your best for your customers and your business. Thanks to Hyland's intelligent content solutions that improve digital processes, innovators everywhere are able to do their thing better, whatever that thing is. Now, who doesn't like the sound of that? Hyland, for innovators everywhere. Visit Hyland.com.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Well, Pacholas, away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4,177. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat, the exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Steve, I don't know how you find people doing dumb stuff in the news, but you find 3 stories each week.
Oh, yeah.
We pit them up against each other and try to determine out of the 3 stories which one sucks the least. Is there a subject matter being addressed today?
There's a little bit of 2. I would say we have fraud going on in 2 of the stories, and one of them's just bad.
Okay.
Inexplicably bad.
Who Sucks Less is coming up. Also need to remind you to head to KISW.com if you've not got tickets yet to the Halloween Hullabaloo. Here's what you do. We're having a little blood drive with our friends at Bloodworks Northwest. We will be at the Showware Center this Friday from 9 until 3. Now, here's what you do. You go to KISW.com, you sign up that you will be there, and you will be entered to win a chance to win VIP tickets to the show. All you got to do is get blood, chance to win tickets to the Halloween Hullabaloo. So head to KISW.com, sign up now if you are in the Showware Center, Kent area. Please stop by if you can, and do your part by giving a little blood. It is Halloween, after all. So
yeah, blood makes sense at Halloween.
There's always a need for blood. So if you could hook that up, hopefully we can hook you up with some VIP tickets. And today on the question, we're going to talk about food today. Who ruined the meal? How did they ruin it? We'll start with a story out of New Jersey, of all places.
Oh, hey.
A fight in an upscale New Jersey hotspot looked like something they say out of a reality show, but will have very real consequences after a customer was nearly stabbed with one of the steak knives from the restaurant. The wild scene happened inside the Red Horse restaurant in Rumson, and it was circulated on social media probably a few weeks ago since the incident went down. Suspect is 75-year-old David Gully of Florida. 75 from Florida. He lunged at a customer, according to police. Gully at one point was holding what police said was a steak knife after the fight broke out. Officers who responded to the scene said they also saw Gully punch the manager in the face. Now, what set off this chaotic brawl? Wine was spilled on the wife of the man whom Gilly went to dinner with, according to police. It was an accident.
Sure, come on.
The victim injured his hand in the mayhem. He refused medical treatment. Gully now faces a number of charges: aggravated assault, possession of a weapon, terroristic threats, disorderly conduct. He was released at the restaurant.
Why?
I don't know. Restaurant is owned by...
He's old. Because he's 75, right.
Celebrity chef David Burke. I'm not sure if I've heard that name. Who said in the grand scheme of things, this was a minor. Although admittedly unusual incident that my staff, I thought, handled very well. I'm proud of them. They did exactly what they should have done, intervened to defuse the situation, and then called the police.
Or hit him in the back of the head with a chair and be done with it, man.
Either way.
Like, sorry.
Things
Old or not, like, man, you are overreacting very, very much to accidentally spilled wine. Like,
Correct. And I get it. If it's red wine, it stains, but also, like, things spill.
It happens, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you know what? If you didn't go through all that and grab a steak knife, chances are you get a free meal. Right? They come up, they apologize and do the thing. It's like, dude, you would get a freebie out of this easy until you grab a steak knife and punch managers in the face.
Now, this one went viral as well.
His punch was weak.
You know what? That's why they let him go.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. Like, he punched me in the face, but honestly, man, it's like getting punched in the face with meringue. I'm not worried about it.
Maybe a better way to go viral, but not so much. A guy went viral for a video he made about how the spices cinnamon and cumin should not be in the same color jars. Especially, they have too many letters in common as well. He said he accidentally made fajita spiced oatmeal. Story was very relatable. People started commenting with their own early morning fails. Some even mixed up the same
spices. I'd give it a run, honestly.
Really?
Fajita? Yeah, fajita spiced oatmeal. Oh, plain oatmeal sucks.
I mean, it can't suck. It doesn't taste like anything. It's just mush in your mouth, you know? But I don't know if
cumin is just ground cilantro, correct? Or is that coriander? I get those confused.
Cumin and coriander are related. One is the seed, the ground up seed. Yeah, I don't remember which way it goes.
It's a cilantro-based dry spice. So I guess that's what you need in fajitas, either way. Guy posted an update, said commenters told him about their cumin and sugar toast, banana bread with a hint of cumin, fajita granola, and cumin-sprinkled tres leches. Tres leches?
Tres leche cake?
Tres leche. Tres leche. Tres leches.
Tres lashes.
Tres lashes.
Say, amigo.
That's right.
Get out of there. Tres lashes
I'm from West Virginia. We don't have Mexicans where I lived. Have no idea. I would have taken Spanish, man.
Me llamo Ted.
That's exactly right. Me llamo Ted. I would have. I think Spanish in a heartbeat. Sure. Say like German and whatever, French. Someone else did the reverse, creating fall-flavored guacamole. Basically, cinnamon-flavored guacamole. Might not be that bad.
I'm sticking with fajita oatmeal.
Really? Yeah. The only problem with the guacamole, it's not the avocado and the cinnamon, it's all the onions and tomatoes. We had avocado margaritas from a restaurant that does not exist anymore. God, I wish I could remember the name. But I was like, my wife's like, ooh, I want to try one. I'm like, babe, I don't know. It was one of the best drinks I've had, man.
Yep. Someone else did the reverse, creating fall-flavored guacamole, cinnamon hummus, cayenne oatmeal. Spices are deal in containers that look the same. Someone said they put chicken stock in their morning smoothie instead of almond milk.
Ooh.
Well, they're in those boxes.
Yeah, they're in the boxes. I get it. That's
salty.
That is a surprise.
Another person sprayed hairspray under their armpits. So they were all saying, hey, look, it's easy to get stuff confused.
It is. I mean, how quick did Castle, as soon as we went to break, Castle came rolling in, same thing, cinnamon and cumin. And I don't remember the meal that he said, but he apparently had put the cinnamon back in the wrong place.
Right.
So his wife, making whatever she was making the following day, grabbed what should have been cinnamon, did the cumin, and ruined the meal. But then, because Castle is Castle, he also pointed out, I do it every once in a while on purpose just to make sure my wife is paying attention.
Right. I think the one time that I saw what I thought was just, it didn't ruin the meal. It was just the smell was very, the smell did not go away.
All right.
So, married at the time, the mother-in-law comes in. We've determined we're going to do, one nice fancy restaurant.
Of course.
One night out at a decent place. Other than that, we'll go to all the local haunts and still eat real well, but just, not waterfront, not seafood, do all that. So we end up down at a very nice seafood restaurant down by the pier. A waterfront view, the whole deal. Piano player who has since passed on, but this guy was famous.
That guy was the best.
He was famous for, subtly playing Anthrax just to look around and see if anybody...
You were picking up on it.
Yeah, he used to live down on the Fremont Canal there before he passed on.
He was a fan of the show.
Yeah, he also put really unusual... He had a signboard, and he would, have the quotes on the signboard that would change all the time, depending on what was going on culturally, politically, all those things. But, so he's playing. The Four Top that's right beside us, they're on the dessert side of things. And the order was Bananas Foster. Now, they bring out a Bananas Foster serving tray. So they don't just bring out the dish.
Right.
They bring out everything and they're going to cook it in front of you. This includes alcohol. It also includes a burner, an open flame, and all these things. Now, the woman who is sitting there is an elderly lady. She has a very, what's the best way to describe this? A Liza Minnelli type of coat that's got all these frills coming off of it.
Like a shawl?
No,
Yeah,
but
the
it's
coat is the shawl.
like the whole thing.
It looks like that shaggy ass dog that you see every once in a while.
It's to let people know that you have money. It doesn't necessarily look good on you, but people recognize, like, okay, you come from some kind of money or class or distinction or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And she had the jacket on the back of her chair. Now, when the guy starts making the bananas Foster, I don't know if the alcohol hit the burner, splashed off. Either way, the sleeve of her coat catches on fire. And I mean, it's poof. And when it goes up, like the flame itself probably shot at least 6 inches above her head.
Yeah.
As she's sitting in the chair, not knowing what's going on. Bananas Foster guy, he's on the other side working on cutting up bananas or something.
Yeah.
He doesn't really see what's going on. All of a sudden, almost the entire jacket just goes up in flames. Now, it smelled like
burnt hair,
plastic. It had this very chemically smell to it. Then, as this happens, she throws the jacket off of the chair. And it goes on the ground. Well, now the carpet catches on fire.
Are you serious?
With the alcohol. That is correct. So then they come out with a fire extinguisher and basically just blow her jacket on the ground. Keep in mind, the Banana Foster station is still there.
It's still there, right?
He just kind of scoots it to the side. They very quickly clean up the mess at this establishment. Make sure they vacuumed the carpet. I mean, they did everything.
Yeah.
But they did not move us from our seat. So this smell, and we haven't even ordered yet. We haven't even gotten like a drink. I mean, this just happens as soon as we sit our ass down. And the smell just lingered. And if you looked up at the ceiling, you could see this cloud of smoke that was still inside the restaurant that was kind of like holding up the smell of this thing. And I mean, it wasn't that the meal was bad or any of that. The smell just did not go away.
The stink.
It smelled like somebody had a tire pit that they were burning. I cannot describe.
Yeah, just chemicals and fake. It's a fake ass jacket, basically, is what that comes down to.
It kind of smells like when they fill a pothole and they put tar down and they gun it with that flame. Yeah. It just had this really noticeable carbon rubber. I can't. It was overwhelming, but there was nothing they could really do.
What are you going to do? You can close down the restaurant.
They didn't have windows.
That's about it.
Because it's on the pier that you really open. So maybe it was like a back. Whatever they did, they did the best they could do.
You know, oddly, when my wife and I first started dating, not even when we first started dating, but actually before we moved to Seattle, on 3 separate occasions, and each time I believe we were with my parents, the restaurant we were in caught on fire. I mean, and keep in mind, this is like in a 6-month period. Like, hey, babe, my parents invited us out to dinner. Like, cool. We'd go out to dinner, and I remember one was Macaroni Grill. My uncle's in town. That's where he wanted to go. I'm like, all right, cool, fine, whatever. And we had ordered our food, which kind of pisses me off because at this point, you've ordered your food. It's not there yet, but, you know, once you order it, your mouth's kind of watering for it, like, ooh, I can't wait to eat my whatever. And I see the cook walk out of the kitchen, and he's trying to get the attention of the general manager. I nudge my wife, and I said, the kitchen's on fire. She goes, how do you know? I said, I worked the kitchens for 12 years. This guy walked out of the kitchen. He's in full, and it's a closed kitchen. He's in full view. He is a mess because it's an Italian restaurant. There's sauce all over him, all this crap. They would ask you not to be in front of the customers when you look that messy. And he's staring down the general manager who was talking to a table. And I said, that means he needs her urgently. And either someone cut their hand off with a bag, which is a much different thing, or the kitchen's on fire. She's like, it's not on fire. Within 3 minutes, they got under a little PA. Macaroni Grill has to apologize. We have to ask everyone to leave. There's a small fire in the kitchen. And I explained, I said, there's always a small fire in the kitchen. I said, this is a big-ass fire. We need to get out. Yeah. And we found out it's a big-ass fire because the fire truck started rolling in. And I'm like, in 12 years of cooking, only one time did the fire department need to be called for the fire. Right? No big deal. Whatever. Stuff happens. We get something else. Maybe 6 weeks later, parents invite us out again, and we even make the joke, hey, maybe the restaurant won't burst into flames this time when we can actually eat the meal. We order our food. We get our food. We start eating our meal. We need to apologize and ask everyone to leave. And I'm like, this is an entirely different restaurant. And I'm like, come on, man. I mean, like, what are the odds of this? No fire trucks this time, but there was enough damage in the kitchen, I guess, that they had to close it down. All right, so now this has become our little laugh, ha, 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 ha. But then it starts to feel like maybe this curse is following us around because maybe a month before we move to Seattle, we go for basically one final dinner where it's the four of us with my parents again. Naturally, we make the comment, let's just hope the restaurant does not catch on fire. And I swear to God, for the third time in like 6 months, the restaurant caught on fire. And I'm like, is it me? Is it you? Is it us together? Like, what in the hell, man? Like anyone, I've been going to restaurants whenever my parents started taking me there. It's got to be her, man, because Cirque du Soleil.
Thank you.
Restaurants burning to the ground. Look, with Cirque du Soleil, my parents have friends in Vegas. They're older, so of course they're going to go see Cirque du Soleil. They go see Cirque du Soleil. My mom calls me and says, oh, my God, you're not going to believe this. We were at Cirque du Soleil, and I finished the rest for her. I'm like, is this what I just read in the news? Like some lady fell off the trapeze, crashed onto the floor from like 60 feet up, and they had to shut it down. She's like, we were there. I was like, wow, man, that's kind of crazy. She's like, yeah, that's not what you want to see, but yeah, we're ushered out of there. I want to say it's the next year. They visit the same couple in Vegas. They're going to see Cirque du Soleil. And it wasn't a trapeze this time. I do not remember what it was, but another performer was injured severely enough where they had to shut down production and boot everyone out. So I don't know if my mom's a curse or if she is like the product of some weird voodoo ritual or something like that. But, man, if she rolls into your place of business, just assume something bad's going to happen.
See, okay, as long as a person's not seriously hurt.
And, Mom, if you're listening, you know that's true. You
There's
can't even
a couple
get mad about
businesses
it.
I'd like to send her into.
Do they stop?
Yeah, there are places like go into that restaurant.
Do they stop the performance?
Yes.
Yeah.
They do.
But
See?
because when she was there, the injuries were severe enough. And her point is, apparently, well, Cirque du Soleil, people screw up all the time just based on what they're doing. And you might get hurt, but you're not injured, as they say. But in her case, the 2 times, I think she's been to one where it went successfully. So the 2 out of 3 times they've been, whatever happened, like it was bad enough that they didn't want the audience to see.
Have you been to one of these?
Okay, so I never went to Cirque du Soleil, right? But we did that cruise for my 50th birthday a couple years ago, 5 years ago. And I did not know this, but we had dinner one night, and at this dinner, I didn't realize it was the Cirque du Soleil dinner. I had so when we walked in, there's some people dressed weird, but they're not performing. And they're greeting you in this weird kind of like Disney or something. And they're like, all right, whatever, man. I just want to eat my food. And as we start eating, the lights go down. And I'm like, what is this? And then all these people that are dressed in these crazy costumes, they start doing this slow dance. And I'm like, what the F is this? And my wife's like, hey, this is the Cirque du Soleil dinner. I'm like, I don't want to do the Cirque du Soleil dinner.
No.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. If you stop the
but-
performance, as long as the person's not hurt, I'd be like, okay, cool.
But they do.
Let's go
But
do
here's the
something
difference.
else.
They're not on a stage on this cruise, all right? So it's not like...
No, they're in the dining area.
So they're standing next to me, and there's this glow-in-the-dark woman with 8 like green arms. And look, what they were doing was cool, but also I just want to eat. So when you kind of grind up on me with your weird character outfit, like, I respect what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing, but you see how there's meat on the end of this fork? I just want to put this in my mouth, chew, and talk to my friends. But no, you have to be part of the performance.
You have to be quiet.
It sucks so bad. And there was a woman who, she's juggling with her feet. Very, 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 very impressive. I'm just not a big fan of bare feet next to my plate. Like she was doing incredible stuff, right? And so I'm kind of watching her volley all the stuff up in the air, and it didn't matter what they threw at her. She could keep juggling it. And I'm like, wow. Then it occurred to me, like, okay, well, her foot is like 3 inches away from my face.
Is that the only reason she's on this ship?
Yeah.
Is that her one job?
I guarantee it.
Is that the only night they do this, or they do this every single night?
I don't
You know what I'm
know
saying? Like,
because I never signed up for this, man. I just, I know they serve dinner on the boat. And vaguely, I knew that existed, but that's so out of the realm of anything I'm interested in. It didn't cross my mind until we got in there. And I'm just like, God damn it, man. Like, I just want to eat my food. If you want to do this before we eat, cool. You want to do this after we eat, cool. But, like, I just want to chew my food, but you're staring at me and smiling and doing this stuff, and I don't know.
Sadly, as far as all the gimmicks and all that crap go, I have been to Teatro
Zanzani.
It's always it's a different show, depending on the troupe that's in and what they're doing. So I can't speak for all of them. I can say, though, that, again, you can't really talk to anybody. That's a little bit weird. The food was great. The food was, I don't know if
I always heard it was great.
Tom Douglas did it or whoever the hell did it. It was a great steak dinner. Don't get me wrong. But, like anything else, when you're done with dinner, you're kind of just done.
Yeah.
you want to get up.
But I got to wait through your stuff now.
You want to go and smoke a cigarette.
That's kind of the key.
Then here comes, I don't know, dessert. Now it's dragging and dragging. But you still got to be quiet. And in the way that we did it was just two of us. So we're sitting with in a round table with 6 other people we don't know.
All right. Are they into this or are they tracking with you?
Well, I believe that I'm the only one there who doesn't care to be there. I mean, it's not that I'm sitting there, I'm dressed up, I'm enjoying the food, but there's no real discussion going on.
Yeah.
The people in front of me are turning around to watch the performance. So it's one of those things where you're just it's fine. If you're into that, but the one I'll go to though, and not that this has anything to do with performance art or anything like that, but
medieval times.
No, I'll go to a rainforest cafe.
Yeah, there's no performance.
Just give it.
Yeah.
But that's the one, if he said, you want to go to, I'm all right, I'll go to Rainforest Cafe. That's the only one, I think. Where I'd be okay, I'll go.
Right. That's just animatronic animal.
Right.
That's not a performance.
If a big gorilla comes out of a wall, that to me is more entertaining.
If you
than
know
swinging from a
that
rope.
it's animatronic. The first time I went there, I did not know. I just thought they stuffed animals around, right, for the motif. And periodically these things fire up. I honestly, God, did not know this. And I am talking to a woman who I found attractive sitting across from me. And this freaking gorilla that was 3 feet to my left, I just didn't know what was going to happen. All of a sudden, it just starts beating its chest. I'm I dropped my fork, almost spilled my drink. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
She's you didn't know that was going to happen? I'm no. I wouldn't have come here if I thought that was going to happen.
I just think if your girlfriend or wife says, I want to go to a dinner theater experience, I like Rainforest. Don't take a Rainforest Cafe.
But what a Rainforest, baby.
Yeah. Teatro Zanzini or a Rainforest Cafe.
I agree. Who ruined the meal and how did they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Have you seen the latest essentials from Express? They are so good. Super easy, everyday pieces that go with everything you already own. Seriously, like these Pima cotton tees, give me one in every color. Or their 1MX shirts, hands down the best button-downs out there. And don't get me started on that denim. I never knew a pair of jeans could fit me this well. I'm telling you, get in-store or online at express.com now to shop the new essentials at Express. You won't regret it.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
As I say, when you get on a plane, there are plenty of things that you can reasonably expect may go wrong. Then there are things you can never expect. Like 70 passengers all getting sick with the same stomach bug and turning your flight into the puke tube from hell. Daily Mail reports that a large number of passengers aboard a Condor Airlines flight to Frankfurt all appeared to have caught the same stomach bug.
I think we call that food poisoning.
There were 2 bathrooms available. 70 passengers desperately needed to puke their guts out or take it out the other side. So you can imagine how horrible the rest of the flight was. Apparently, though, they were close enough to their destination, they simply kept going until they arrived in Frankfurt, where emergency personnel were already gathered to treat all of the sick passengers. A spokesman for Condor said, we still don't know exactly what
Your
went
food.
wrong.
Your food. It was your food.
Our question, who ruined the meal and how did they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
How everybody gets sick on the same flight?
The stomach bug. From the food poisoning from your food.
Did you have the chicken or the fish?
Doesn't matter. It's all bad. Hello, Melinda. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, 4 hours of preparation, chicken corn chowder, all the vegetables fresh from the garden, cut the corn off the cob. I get to the part where you add the cream, and I didn't have any cream, so I grabbed a can of condensed milk out of my cupboard, which happened to be sweet milk. My chicken corn chowder turned into candy corn chowder.
How gross was it?
That's an easy mistake to make.
Is it?
Yes.
A can of condensed milk.
Right, because it's either that one blue little line that says sweetened or it's the red that's not.
Right.
I mean, it's not, the can is the same.
Right.
So the carnation can is exactly the same. It's just either a blue line or a red line.
And how much?
Thank you so much. Now I don't feel so bad.
No, I've done
There's no getting that out of there.
I've done
was
it.
Sweet. There's nothing I could do.
But you couldn't salvage it in any way, like try to come up with a different, I don't know, make cornbread and add a sweet, well, I guess you got chicken in it. Never mind.
There was nothing I could do.
And how much time did you invest in this?
About 5 hours.
Was that mostly just getting the kernels off of the corn, or did you cook the corn first and then cut it up, or what?
I cooked the corn and then cut the corn off the DeKalb.
And is this a recipe you had done before?
No, I'm still a pretty new cook. My sister's the cook in the family.
Once again, bedroom colors, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now, back to the program.
Look, man, I don't mind spending 4 hours on sauce, lasagna.
If I could
do a brisket, if I could do ribs, sure. Corn chowder, though, seems like that doesn't seem like one where I go, like, if I found out it took 4 hours to make, this is the movie that I'm not watching that night. I'm just
corn chowder's
I need to find something that's
I love corn chowder. It's kind of high on my list.
I don't mind it. I just don't know that I would invest
that much time into it.
I was telling Miles, I made a chili last year, and this chili ended up winning a competition that I wasn't trying to enter. Yay me. But as I'm making it, and I didn't have a recipe, I'm just kind of making it up as I go along, because my wife had agreed to make chili as a favor for a friend who's kind of hosting this contest, right? But my wife was swamped with all this other crap, and I said, babe, don't worry about it. I'll hook it up. I'm in a cooking mood, you know what I mean? Plus, I had chorizo and lamb, so I'm like, I'm going to make something good out of this. So I'm putting it all together. I'm making it up as I go along, but I certainly know that cayenne pepper is going into this. So when you get those little rectangular containers of spices, there is the big thing in the middle where you can stick a spoon in there if you're going to scoop it out. There's another one that looks like the shower head if you want to sprinkle it out. And then there's the smaller pour spout on the other side. I thought I opened the shower sprinkler side. Unfortunately, I opened up the small pour side, but I'm not thinking about it. I grab this thing, I'm doing the whole wrist shake, and just, and it's all cayenne sitting on top of this. And I'm like, well, actually, I dropped an F-bomb. So my wife and I are looking at this, and I'm like, I'm not starting over again, but I scooped out as much as I could. Then I had to make a little more liquid to go with the soup and add a few more things, hoping to absorb it. Anyway, the competition it went into, by the time I got there, it was already gone. Okay, so I literally, other than me dipping my finger in it as I'm cooking it, I never got the chance to taste it. And even that little finger dip, a little spicy. All right, so I get there, and it is completely gone, which is a good sign. And the one thing that people kept saying to me, they said, man, what was the meat? I said, man, chorizo and lamb. They go great together, blah, 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 making stuff up on the fly. But everyone just kept saying, it wasn't like hot, but like 20 minutes after you ate it, man, there's like a spicy burn. Just kind of sticks in your chest. And I didn't tell anyone, but I'm just like, yeah, this is part of the secret. The secret is to F up and dump way more chili powder in there, or whatever the hell it was, cayenne, than you're meant to. So no one really complained about the heat, but it's just one of those, ooh, I can still feel it like an inside of my mouth. And I'm like, yeah, it spilled into the chili, bro. My bad.
Who ruined the meal and how'd they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
I don't keep cayenne in my house. I wouldn't have to sweat it.
Really?
It just gets too hot. So like if I make a chili at home, I usually just either add hot sauce.
Okay, all right.
Right.
I did some of that too.
Kind of go that route, which is harder. You'd have to actually take off the top to really go crazy with it.
Yeah. This did not work out well for me. But so you actually don't keep cayenne in there?
No.
Wow.
Salt, pepper, garlic, Old Bay.
You'd be impressed with our quote-unquote spice drawer, which I got reprimanded about very recently. But we got like everything you could imagine. So I don't remember what I was making over the weekend, but I'm all excited. And I just love digging in spices, right? So I'm doing my thing, and my wife's just like, Jesus Christ. Like, what? She's like, and I did not realize this, to be fair. She goes, I had that thing organized. It was all alphabetical, and you've effed the whole thing.
Alphabetical?
It's alphabetical. Man, that's how she operates. And I said, okay. Babe, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know. So 2 nights ago, I'm digging around in there. Sure enough, it is all alphabetized. And I'm just like, oh, my God. Now I'm at the point where...
Because now you're consciously putting it back in the right location.
But I grab like 7 things at once. I'm not a grab one thing at a time guy. I'm like, I want this, and this. They work together. I'm making blank, right? So I grab it all when I'm done. Put it back where it fits. No. Mm-hmm. Now it's this delicate operation.
Are your albums alphabetically put?
Every single one of them.
All right. Now, if I went and pulled a Rush album out and stuck it in the B's, you'd kick my ass.
I would. But here's the difference.
But that's the same thing.
It's not, because there are 1,000 records. There are 30 different spices.
Still 30.
And they're all labeled, and you looked at, she has this thing, because all of them are out of their original container and placed into different spice containers.
Oh.
So you open a drawer, you look down, and it is all clearly, like she took the time with silver Sharpie to label everything. And they're like,
okay.
Yeah, if you can't find it, we don't have it, whether it's alphabetical or not.
Who ruined the meal? How'd they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Ronnie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Hey, yeah, Rockin' Ronnie here. Man, I missed you guys. How you been?
We've been good. Ronnie, how you been?
I've been all right, working long hours, man. I miss you. I go to the truck after work lately all summer, and all I get to hear is, and for Alita's sake, stay beautiful.
That's bad timing on your part.
I got to drive home without you. It stunk. But hey, so I got to ask you, who's Alita?
It's a big, long story, but she's a former listener to the show who died many, many years ago, but we were very important to her. So as an honor for her having listened to the show and everything that goes along with that, we just like to say that to remind people that no matter how bad your day was, this chick put in a fight. That basically sums it.
I love that. God bless Alita. That's awesome. So, long time ago, when I was a young boy, my stepmonster made the Thanksgiving dinner, and she used one of those bags to cook the turkey in for the first time. So, like, she wasn't aware that it speeds up the cooking time like half. So she pulls this thing out of the oven after like 4 or 5 hours, and this thing's overcooked. Did you guys remember National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
When Chevy Chase cuts into that turkey and it cracks open and it's just like, it's just like empty crust and nothing.
Yeah.
It was like this. She put this big chunk of lump turkey jerky on the table, and Dad tried to cut into it, you know, and it was like, it was so hard, and she was crying her eyes out, and it was just awful. Felt so bad for her.
Well, you only make that meal once, maybe twice a year, so I can understand if you're not used to cooking something like that. It's easier to mess up than you think it is. And it's not that you just don't cook turkey on the regular. You might cook a turkey breast. Mm-hmm. That's where I've gotten to in my life.
It's all right.
I'm done with a big turkey. I just get a nice breast, man. And
we do the turkey loin. Much easier, a lot more flavor, and it can taste like what you
turkey loin, or I tell people all the time, like, if you have a small group, like my mom used to come out, and it was just me and her, I would just make a chicken.
Yeah, sure. That works. Yeah.
I'd still make stuffing and all the accoutrements, but...
Yeah, the sides are the thing. The turkey's just like this dry-ass protein.
But
right?
Turkey's gotten, I will say, head and shoulders above what it used to be. It used to kind of just be kind of bland, but like my buddy James, he like brines it the night before. Now he's like smoking it. It's just
Castle brines this for like days.
Yeah, now you actually want to eat the turkey.
I think people had to figure out a way, like, what do I do to make the staple of the meal actually interesting?
And the whole idea with brining a turkey initially, as far as history goes, is because if you did go out and shoot a turkey, so the brine is what gets rid of the gaminess.
Yeah.
So then they also determined that if you use the brine, it makes the turkey plump, it makes the turkey juicy, it makes it better.
Right. Everything that it normally wasn't.
They still do the same thing, but they don't do it to get rid of the gaminess of a wild turkey.
I think we can all agree, though, if there is a meal that's going to go south, it's going to be Thanksgiving.
Correct.
It just seems like that more than, I mean, even looking at the text line, like, Thanksgiving has popped up more than any other side thing that someone's done. Says, my mom ruined Thanksgiving meal one year. She fed us tofurkey. That's a tofu block in the shape of a turkey. Well, she didn't thaw completely before baking. Then a waterlogged bird swelled up in everyone's stomach after eating it, causing the family to throw up halfway through the meal.
That's not good.
That is not good.
Well, it's weird because, like, if the turkey gets screwed, it seems like a major disappointment. But again, I'm with you.
The sides of
there's so much other food that, like,
right?
Yeah. I mean, you're missing the protein, obviously, but like, I don't know that that's the worst thing.
It's not, but it's the biggest presentation, right?
Yeah.
So. You're right. The sides typically are better than the turkey, but the turkey, the moment you carve it, right? The family's gathered around. Here's your big moment. It's all the pomp and circumstance. And like you said, that thing just blows steam out of the dry ass side.
I don't trust people to do my Thanksgiving dinner anymore. I need to have what I want. I need to have the things that I like, and I trust the sides that I like.
I trust certain people for certain
I do
sides,
too,
but I don't trust any one person to cover it all. And look, I'm not good enough to cover all the sides either.
No.
But like, I know this person's strength. I know this person's strength. Certainly know these people's weaknesses. And I feel like, look, if you want the perfect Thanksgiving dinner, I'd have to invite like 40 people. Like, hey, man, just bring your blank.
Yep.
Just bring your blank. That's the only reason you're invited. It's the only reason I've been watching.
I mean, look, that's what I've been doing for years, right? Again, my buddy James, his wife Stacy, like, they do the meats. I bring the stuffing. Usually bring like a sausage, couple dips or whatever. But they're like, just do that.
Yep.
I'm like, cool.
Yeah, to me, Thanksgiving should be like Voltron. Everyone should just have their strength. You bring it together and have one better whole, right? But as far as other people messing up meals, it says, I just accidentally put vegetable stock in my Golden Grams at 1 a.m. the other night. I was thinking it was oat milk. Took one bite. Surprisingly, it was horrible.
Not surprising. Who ruined the meal? How'd they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So about 25 years ago, my wife and I were bored, decided to go to the new vegan restaurant, and neither one of us were vegan, but it was like, what the hell? And it was a small place, small tables, and we sat down, and they had their menus on kind of thick paper. It was like 11 by 14 size, and they had it folded the long way. And there was a candle in the middle of the table. And my wife caught her menu on fire. And she's banging it out. I went down a napkin, put it on, and finally put it out. By the time the waitress came over, I was, honey, I told you this was a non-smoking restaurant.
Yeah.
And she didn't think I was that funny. But
yeah, not in a moment. So are you actually vegan or don't mind vegan food or what?
Don't mind it. It was just a new restaurant. We were bored with all the ones we've been to, and let's try that one.
What have you found to be the best vegan meal?
Portobello. Anything portobello.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've heard that.
I've had a...
It tastes a little bit meaty, and its consistency is kind of meaty.
I've had a...
You know another one, if they have it, something in a cheddar cheese sauce. When I was a little kid, we were going to my aunt's house, and she was a vegetarian, and my mom was going, I don't care what she makes, you eat it. And it's like, all right. And so we're all prepared for the worst. And she made this stuff, she called it rarebit, and it had cheddar cheese sauce, and it had green peppers and kidney beans and stuff in it. It sounded terrible, but man, it was good. We made our mom get the recipe so she'd start making it.
See, that's the difference between vegetarian and vegan. Vegetarian still eats some dairy. Yeah. And you go, okay, there's 2 or 3 things I'm willing to try here. But
who ruined the meal? How did they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
Here's one I didn't expect to read. I once mistakenly used homemade lotion for eggs instead of using coconut oil. In my defense, it had a similar texture and was right next to the stove. Those were some smooth eggs.
Lotion?
Homemade lotion. I wonder what the recipe is for that, because I'm sure I'll never do it. Hello, Terrell. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
So I don't know who ruined it. It's either me or my mom, depending on how you look at it.
All right.
So, Safeway, they used to sell these 10-pound boxes of these huge Alaskan snow crab legs.
Ooh.
So I bought 2 of them because I convinced my mom, who's really traditional. She always eats turkey and ham and all of the same food for the holidays. So I convinced her to do something different. So she had the deep freezer, so I had to keep them at her house. I show up on, I don't remember if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas. I show up, and she had already eaten one of the boxes. So I'm furious. I'm like, either go to the store and go buy some more, or I'm going home. I'm like, I'm not having this. So she goes to the store, and she comes back with these itty-bitty, pitiful Dungeness legs. And I'm like, I'm not eating those. So I took my 10-pound box and I went home and I ate steak and lobster by myself.
You actually packed up and went home.
Good for you.
Oh yeah, the last box was still frozen. So I took it out the deep freezer and I left. I got in my car and I went home.
I respect
like
that,
your
man.
style.
Yeah,
I do.
And you weren't lying. That's the thing I appreciate about that. Solve this or I'm going home. Oh, he won't. And there he goes.
If I had a box of frozen crab legs in my freezer, I'd be jumping up and down.
It would not last in my house.
No,
You'd have to
would
not
find
tell me.
something to do with it. I would
Instantly.
make crab cakes. I'd make crab soup, crab dip, you name it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'd make them all at one time, man. Just clean all the meat out and start cooking.
Yeah. I mean, you should get a Costco membership.
Yes. They got some in there?
Yeah. You can get like a whole pack of just like clusters of Dungies. You can get Alaskan snow crab legs. I mean, you can get a ton of stuff in there.
That would be a problem for me.
Who ruined the meal? How did they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You're working from home. You settle in with a cup of coffee, ready to get the day started. Before you look at that to-do list, turn on your favorite Odyssey sports station on your smart speaker. We'll keep you company and bring you the latest updates from your teams while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Power through the workday with the entertaining sports coverage you love from the local voices you trust. Just ask your smart speaker to play your favorite station.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You're working from home. You settle in with a cup of coffee, ready to get the day started. Before you look at that to-do list, turn on your favorite Odyssey sports station on your smart speaker. We'll keep you company and bring you the latest updates from your teams while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Power through the workday with the entertaining sports coverage you love from the local voices you trust. Just ask your smart speaker to play your favorite station.
Are you a bartender that dreads the phrase, "Hey, can you put the game on?" At Sports on What, we understand your pain and we're here to help. Over-the-air, satellite, cable, or streaming, Sports on What knows what channel the game is on, and you can too. Follow your favorite teams, set alerts, and filter by provider to get the results you need. Stop wasting time searching and never miss kickoff again. Just download the Sports on What app, and you'll always know how to watch the game. Available for Android and iOS. Start your 7-day free trial when you download Sports on What and subscribe today.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Our question, who ruined the meal and how did they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK. We go to a Manhattan restaurant. A former hostess for the upscale restaurant known as Tao. Tao got so mad when she was fired, she dumped fecal matter into an indoor koi pond at one of the hot spots, causing thousands of dollars in damages, according to a lawsuit. Ariel Roman disguised herself in a black wig and glasses, then slipped into the Asian fusion restaurant while carrying a large bag of crap at around midnight. The crappy ex-employee unloaded the smelly hull into the fish pond, then hopped up on a table and started shouting at diners. The wild incident cost the owners of the eatery more than $3,000 in damages. She could face criminal charges, which, according to Gothamist, first reported the lawsuit. She became furious after she was fired as a host and for violating company policy, according to the complaint, which did not elaborate on what she did. But either way, there were folks eating in there when she went in there, dumped the crap into the pond, then jumped up on a table.
An actual bag of crap.
Who ruined the meal? How did they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
Here's a good one from the text line. We went to Disneyland, and my son got himself a Mickey Mouse sword. Had blue bubbles and had a yellow bubble holder. Looks like one of those old lemon things that you buy from Safeway for flavoring. Well, a couple of months later, I'm making Slappy Joe's, which calls for some lemon juice. On the counter is my son's bubble container, which is yellow. It looks like the lemon juice holder from Safeway. Well, I used that in Sloppy Joe's. Then I threw it away. Later, we're looking for my son's sword, and we found it for the bubble holder. And that's when I realized what I did.
You didn't taste that?
I don't think they knew what it was.
Like, you didn't taste any kind of detergent or anything like that in your Sloppy Joe?
Hey, man, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just reading it as it comes in.
Who ruined the meal? How did they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
Maybe the Sloppy Joes are that good.
Yeah, it could have been like, ooh, I don't know what you did different this time, but keep doing it.
Every time
it's a little off, but I still love them.
Every time we bring up Sloppy Joes, if I have like a pound of hamburger, I never do it.
No.
I make hamburger patties. I'll make chili. For some reason, when I have it, I just can't remember to do it. I've got the buns for the hamburger. I can make Sloppy Joes.
Oh, yeah.
This can be hard. I just never think to do it.
The last time I got close to making a Sloppy Joe, once again, homemade chili, but I had some left the next day, and I'm like, you know what? I'm making Sloppy Joes out of this. Cooked up a little more hamburger, man. It was tremendous. And haven't done it since. Hello, Jesse. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, guys. So I ruined the meal, and I cook professionally. And I worked at the story is this place that you guys have juggled fruit at. Or maybe looked at your shoes and fell down.
I know that place well.
Yep.
All right. So,
Dad's giving us a confused look. I was juggling apples. I dropped an apple. And the way
yeah. My bad.
Greatest, finest wait staff I believe there is ever.
Attention to detail is amazing there.
They're amazing. So I'm the sous chef there, and it's early in my career, and I'm doing one of those like a tasty meal dinner. So my chef explicitly looks at me dead in the face before he leaves. The short ribs come out at 9 p.m. And I was like, yeah, dude, whatever. And I think I went supposed to wait to walk in. And then then I finished the line, closed up my stuff, did all the orders, and I'm leaving at about 11 o'clock midnight. I live in Linwood, so drove home. And as soon as I walk in the door, I mean, just it hits me. I left the short ribs in the oven. So I drive all the way back. I open the door, and they're just burnt. There's smoke everywhere. It's the worst thing ever.
Now, were you supposed to?
Is this for the next day?
Yeah.
Is this like prep work for tomorrow?
Yeah, like the dinner was tomorrow.
Okay, all right. That's what I was checking.
And this this is like 80 pounds of short ribs for a big dinner.
Oh man.
And it's a wine dinner. And it's like, this is a big deal. Like, people paid a lot of money for this ticket for this 8-meal course thing.
So did you have to just get there early in the morning and do it again? I mean, they got to order that, right?
Well, that's what I mean. So as soon as I'm in the office, I'm crying. I'm just having the worst time. I'm just like, this is the worst thing ever. So I remember, if I could have anything, I would love the voicemail I left that meat company and just bawling tears asking for short ribs. It's just the funniest damn thing to me when I think back on it.
Did you manage to get the short ribs?
So what happened was, this is why the chefs make good money and you learn from them. So what the chef did when he came in, he just kind of just drank a cup of coffee. And then he pulled the meat off the bone, and then we made a pasta dish.
All right,
using the meat from the bone instead of the burnt stuff on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do, man? Because he's not trying to spend that money.
He's like, all right, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to change the menu, and there it is. And he's kind of just sitting there hyperventilating. I'm like, okay, we're fine.
It's also how you save your job. Like, look, if we can salvage this and make something, you might be in trouble, but you're not getting fired.
Like
if I lose that much money on this,
Is that like the Southern short ribs, or is this like a Korean short rib?
No, these are just so the whole point of the dish was supposed to be like a short rib on the bone, on top of like a plenty cake.
Oh, I get you. So that was like a full meal.
The bone was supposed to be like a whole presentation, so it was like 80 individual, perfectly cut, nice, expensive short ribs.
You know, it's funny. I've had that at a different, say, restaurant style, the one you worked at.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. But short rib, when it comes on a bone, it should basically almost fall off.
It absolutely should, without you cutting it off. What years did you work in this particular establishment?
All right. At this point, I was 19 years old when I was just telling the story. Like, this was a big deal for me. So what was that? That was actually, this is going to make you guys feel old. That was 2028, 2029?
Well, it's only 2024, yeah. Wait. In the future? No wonder you couldn't pull the ribs out. You don't even know what freaking year it is.
2019, 2018.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, the place where the woman's coat caught on fire, owned by your same company, the seafood into that. So,
really?
I think you know where that is. Yeah.
I did not realize that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fine restaurant.
It's like a nice cold glass of water.
I got you. Okay. Yeah. I did not know that they were owned by the same people.
Who ruined the meal and how'd they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Sean. Welcome to the men's room.
Oh, snap. Hang on a second. Let me turn off the radio here.
All right, hold on.
Hold on. He's getting it together. I respect it.
Yes, hold on for a second.
I'm back.
You're back?
Yeah.
All right, what do you got for us?
Well, my ex-wife made a meat stew one time, all the fixings, carrots, potatoes, onions. Super delicious, but instead of using a cup and a half of wine, she decided to use a full bottle in a crock pot.
How bad was that?
It wasn't bad. It actually tasted good, but I was basically intoxicated for 3 nights of meals.
It got you drunk?
Not drunk, but I'm not a wine drinker, so I definitely felt it a little bit.
Right, a heavy buzz.
Okay. Let me ask you a question, man. I don't know. Meat stew sounds odd.
What do you mean?
The what?
The way you said she made a meat stew.
It sounds very undefinitive, kind of like, I got some stuff, I'm going to put it in the crock pot, let's see what happens.
It's basically just stew.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
Yeah, I know, but Thrill's with me. When you said meat stew, I thought we were going to end up with some kind of odd animal in this stew.
Yeah, I mean, because people have beef stew, but just like meat stew. I'm like, okay.
Well, I would hope it was a beef stew. Yeah. It was chunks of some sort of meat.
Okay. Chunks of. You should write menus for restaurants. Our stew has chunks of some kind of meat.
Some kind of meat.
There's some kind of animal. It is in cube shape, and it will be in your bowl.
We put it on your plate.
It's got a full bottle of wine.
Give you a fork. Who ruined the meal? How'd they ruin it? 206-803-ROB.
Would you eat at a place just called Mystery Meat?
No.
If it's a restaurant, yes. Because I feel like they have to have something that backs up that questionable of a name. It's like beer, right? Moose drool. Typically, if you said, would you drink a liquid called moose drool, I would say no. But you go, well, it's a beer. I go, okay, with that kind of name, there's got to be something good about it, right?
Right.
So if you just called it Mystery Meat, but it's an actual restaurant, and they never really told you what you're eating.
All right, maybe not a restaurant. Let's say, though, take any of the steakhouses, right? The Met,
all right.
El Gaucho.
Like on the menu it says.
Right, and just Mondays is Mystery Meat Monday. So know, right? I'm trying to think. What's the other one on Lake Union? Like the other good steakhouse?
Daniel's.
So take it at any steakhouse, right? They're very good.
You know these places are
it's
good.
going to be prepared correctly.
You just don't know what it is.
You just don't know what the meat is.
Right. Well,
yes.
dude.
Yes, I would. Okay, now, based on that.
I don't know, man.
If it's, because it's Daniel's or it's the Metropolitan or something like that.
Here, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you might not want to know what the meat is, but whatever that meat is, they did it right.
Correct.
Right? So if I eat it and I go, this is delicious, and they say that was human, I might not be happy to hear that, but I go, well, you guys did a bang up job.
What if we're in just a random ass country?
No, sir.
Okay, all right.
Like, I don't want to eat snake because I hate snakes.
Right.
But what everybody describes it, like I like gator, which is a reptile.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was
if
I was at Mystery Meat Mondays, and I'm just eating it, and then they're like, "That's rattlesnake," I'd be like, "You son of a!" But I'd be like, "All right, it was good."
Hey, listen, if you're listening at El Gaucho or Daniel's or Metropolitan Grill, seriously, man, just do like a mystery meat menu. I will gladly come in
if
and
it's
try.
in one of those places, you know it's going to be good. Do you follow my kid on Instagram, Ted?
I do not.
Okay, so she was at this. She's in Africa.
He follows her in person.
She was, it's a long way to travel.
And don't I know it?
She was at a traditional wedding in Namibia, right?
All right.
And the meat that they were cooking, I'm just like, oh, God, what is that? And there were like 4 different types of meat where I was like, oh, God. But also should be noted there is a huge food shortage issue going on there right now. And so they've already told their citizens, look, you need to hunt zebras first, and then you can kill elephants, and then you can move on to giraffes. Mm-hmm. So in that order, just a couple reasons, believe it or not. One of them is to maintain the water table because those animals drink most of it. So
it's greedy bastards.
Yeah. So the watering holes, they go there, and that's where they kill these animals so that they won't drink the water. Then with a food shortage, they use those animals and they make them for dinner. So I'm talking to my kid because I'm going to go visit her in December, right?
All right.
And I said, hey, listen, man, I just got to know. I said, what do I eat? When I'm down there, do you have any recommendations? She's like, I'd stick with the gazelle burger and the crocodile bites. And I'm like, you mean to tell me I'm going to be there for like 5-6 days and I'm just going to eat gazelle burgers?
You are going to eat gazelle burgers.
And crocodile bites. And she's like, that's what I would recommend. And I was like, I'm going to come back like 10 pounds lighter. I'm going to come back svelte. I'm going to look great. Like, what happened to you? I couldn't eat for a week.
I don't know. Gazelle, both of those don't sound that bad. Gazelle burger.
It's got to be close to venison, right?
Just gazelle, because keep in mind, these gazelles, it's not like they're farm raised, man. So I got to think they're going to be a little tougher and gamier because they're constantly fighting for survival.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay, I understand that, but typically.
But the crocodiles should be delicious, I would think.
Okay, the more sedentary the animal, as far as my knowledge goes,
the better it tastes.
The tastier it is. Gazelles can run like 60, 50 miles
and that's what
an
I'm
hour.
saying. They always are because everything out there can eat them. Lions are looking for
But to me, that means the meat is not tender because there's no fat on that animal because they're all.
Yeah, that's my point. But she's
elk is good and it doesn't have any fat in it.
Yeah, but elk also aren't running all
No, they just lay in the grass
the time. You know what I mean? There's a difference between having an adrenaline spike and not having a lot. Like gazelles, it's like visiting South Chicago, except you're a white dude, your car broke down, and it's 2 a.m. You're on high alert all the time because anything bad might happen to you. An elk's just kind of like, ain't nobody doing anything. I'm just not I got nothing to
elk
do.
meat is leaner, but it's still a bigger animal. Whereas I feel like the gazelle is going to be a lot of muscle. But either way, I would take her advice. I mean, if you ground up almost anything, I'd eat a gazelle burger right now.
Who ruined the meal?
Mystery meat.
And how did they ruin it? 206-803 Rock.
Plus, like, Thrill and I like alligators. So I would think crocodile's going to have a similar taste.
I would think it does, but I really don't know.
Did you ever find out, Miles, what the meats were at this wedding?
I cannot identify them, Ted. It was on an Instagram post, and I just...
So is it just the meats after they're done?
They cook all day. So,
right.
I mean, and there were probably 100 people at this wedding. So, I mean, it's just carcasses that are hanging and...
How long did you spend trying to identify the carcass?
Then they cook it and they break it apart with the bones. They throw it in a big ass pot, and then they make some kind of goulash or stew out of it. Yeah,
I mean that's the other thing too.
They look very knuckly, kind of like bigger chunks of goat. So to speak.
You know? I don't like goat, man.
Yeah, I still haven't really eaten goat.
Bro, I like goat cheese. I just don't like goat meat.
Man, if you go to Jamaica, you don't have a choice.
Is it just goat?
Curry goat? Oh, yeah, I mean fish and goat.
I would take the fish.
And jerk chicken.
If you add curry, I'm fine.
I feel like curried goat is like the dish in Jamaica.
I tell you what, that was the craziest thing in the world was actually tasting chicken. Until I went to Jamaica, I had no idea what chicken really tasted like.
All right.
And it was just it's a much more flavorful bird than you think it is.
Sure.
In a good way. But we put so many steroids and crap in our chickens to get them to grow faster than just a regular natural chicken. It's leaner, but it's still juicy. The meat is absolutely fantastic. It's like one giant crispy chicken wing.
We had the same experience when we went to Italy. And look, I'm not a big vegetable guy at all, but my wife kept raving about the tomatoes of all the frickin' things. And I'm not anti-tomato, but if you give me a slice, I'm going to move it away, right? And she's like, dude, seriously, just try the tomato. So me being me, the child in me, spent 5 minutes contemplating this by just staring at the tomato. Finally, I just popped it in my mouth. She's right. And it's the same thing. And when we talk to these guys, they're like, look, man, they said, your country is the size of a continent. So it's not like tomatoes grow everywhere. If you get tomatoes in a place that does not produce tomatoes, it ain't fresh. And your soil's different. This guy's like, dude, we drive 7 miles to a farmer's market. It's been the same guy for 19 generations, whatever.
Right. Heirloom.
The taste
heirloom
of it
tomatoes.
is right.
And those seeds have been around for hundreds of years, more than likely. That's the point of heirloom tomatoes is you saved your seeds.
Heirloom tomatoes are that noticeable.
They really are.
Right, because like this time, right, like August, September is when they're really in bloom out here. And I'm with you. Like I'll eat bruschetta, but generally on a sandwich, I don't really care for the tomato. But like heirlooms, I could sit there and just put salt on a slice of it.
They were excavating some type of property in Italy at one point in time, and they found an old cellar. There was a stone cellar that was in the ground.
Seeds.
And they had the heirloom seeds.
Nice.
They grew them.
Yeah, that was it.
They grew them.
All right.
They've been in there for...
And they were like, holy crap, man.
For however long, you know, I mean, the archaeologists, they're sitting there with paintbrushes and stuff clearing the property, so you know these seeds are old. Old. Hell with it, man. We're going to plant them, man. Boom.
But it's amazing how things are different. You know, we're in the States, we stop and get a ham and cheese sandwich, what are you expecting to see? All right?
Ham and cheese.
Ham and cheese. There's probably going to be a slice of American cheese, maybe cheddar.
Maybe cheddar.
Ham. See, that does not excite me.
Probably a white bread. But if you're hungry and in a pinch, which was... I don't remember which
ham and
country
cheese isn't bad, I guess.
But it's like, it's fine. But we're in a hurry. I can't quite translate all the menu, but I recognize that this says ham and cheese. I'm like, F it. And it was reasonably cheap compared to the other things on the menu. So I fully expect, it's at the airport. So I'm like, let me just get a ham and cheese because I'm starving. So they're like, no problem. And it is on croissant, right? And then it's Iberico ham, by the way, Ted, and brie. And I can't, here we are serving that as an appetizer at a fancy restaurant. This was their ham and cheese, and everywhere we went, I'm like, I'm going to try this again. And look, I was much happier to get that than what I was expecting. But I'm like, there's got to be a place where it's just standard canned-ass ham and a slice of American cheese. No, ham and cheese, like I said, croissant or a soft French bread, but brie and Iberico ham. And I'm like, man, you would pay 10 times more than this in the I cannot believe that's their cheap-ass fallback. You give this to your kids at school lunch kind of sandwich. And I'm like, man, these kids are doing all right.
When my daughter was teaching in Spain, she came back, she lost 35 pounds.
Really?
She didn't exercise. She just ate the food.
She ate, yeah.
She just ate the food. Who ruined the meal, and how did they ruin it? 206-803. Jesus Christ.
Hello, Brock. Welcome to the men's room.
Sorry, guys. I try to plan that so that doesn't happen to you guys. I apologize.
Yeah, you did poorly, but okay.
I know. I apologize. Hey, I know you guys get a million phone calls and talk to a bunch of people, but something cool happened the last time I talked to you guys. Right after I got off the phone, my college roommate called in. And I hadn't talked to him in like 30 years. And we're friends on Facebook and stuff. So I ended up reaching out to him. And that night we had like a 2-hour conversation. It was really cool.
Awesome.
Good, man. Yeah, I do remember the guy
Was that
calling
guy
in.
like Casper or something?
Yeah, you guys were in Ellensburg together, maybe?
Dirk. Yeah, Dirk. Yeah, his name's Dirk. He actually moved down to California. That's how I lost touch with him and went to chiropractic school down there. But he's back in Seattle now, so
cool.
It's really cool. So this is back. My ex-wife. That's the only thing I miss about her was she was a good cook. But so the very first time she made a meal for me, she's really good at. It's crazy how like I can do the same recipe that she would cook and it turned out way better every time.
You make it better or she makes it better?
She would make it better.
Because no one tells you their full recipe. Count on that.
Yeah, she was a good cook, and it just drove me crazy. But the very first time we were dating, it was the very first time she made a meal for me, and we have this. She's going through all this stuff, and she's got this recipe. All excited to make this thing for me. It's the first time she's making it. It's some enchilada meal, and in the recipe, they messed up and they forgot to put the line between the 1 and the 2. It was supposed to be a half teaspoon of paprika, and she put 12 teaspoons of paprika.
Oh, no. But that's what it physically said, right?
Yeah, no, that's what it said. And we took one bite and we couldn't eat it, and she was like really sad and depressed. And I'm like, don't worry, it's not your fault. And it was disgusting, though.
Yeah, it's very important that you get those little small details in the recipe.
First date I ever went on with my wife, first time that she decided to cook for me, she had chicken in the oven, and it was baked chicken, and there was some other things that still needed to be finished up sidewise. So she took the pan out, and she put the pan on top of the stove. Now, unbeknownst to her, she forgot to turn off one of those burners because it was a clear top range and stove. So, the type where you just see the red glow come up. But she did not know that burner was still on. We go into the living room, I think, to smoke weed or whatever the hell we're doing. And all of a sudden, within 5 minutes, there's an explosion. I mean, like an explosion. Shards of glass, Ted, that were 2 to 3 inches long were embedded in the cabinets in the kitchen and into the wall that all had to be repaired by the apartment complex people. If we would have been in that kitchen, there's a very good chance we would have been impaled by shards of glass that blew from that Pyrex pan.
You didn't take that as a warning. Then those thunderbolts and lightning. I'm just looking back, all these warning signs like, don't do it.
Yeah, I think we went out for dinner that night. Who ruined the meal? How'd they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You're working from home. You settle in with a cup of coffee, ready to get the day started. Before you look at that to-do list, turn on your favorite Odyssey sports station on your smart speaker. We'll keep you company and bring you the latest updates from your teams while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Power through the workday with the entertaining sports coverage you love from the local voices you trust. Just ask your smart speaker to play your favorite station.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Have you seen the latest essentials from Express? They are so good. Super easy, everyday pieces that go with everything you already own. Seriously, like these Pima cotton tees, give me one in every color. Or their 1MX shirts, hands down the best button-downs out there. And don't get me started on that denim. I never knew a pair of jeans could fit me this well. I'm telling you, get in-store or online at express.com now to shop the new essentials at Express. You won't regret it.
99.9 KISW. The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up, a return of Who Sucks Less right after emails on our question, who ruined the meal and how did they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
How you guys doing?
Doing good, John. How about you?
Doing all right. I'm done with work for the day, so I can't complain, right?
Nice.
Yeah. So I used to be, like, by family standards and friends, of course, pretty good on the grill when you had a backyard barbecue.
All right.
And what I was really good at making was burgers. And so, that kind of carried on with me. I deployed to Afghanistan. This was like 2011, 2012. Didn't touch a grill pretty much the whole time I was out there. Get back. The family's all excited. They're coming from all over. Friends from high school are coming out. They're like, hey, man, get on the grill. So I get on the grill, cook up some burgers. I get caught up in talking with everybody and catching up, completely overcook the burgers. I whip open the grill. I mean, these things look like hockey pucks. They're so black, right?
All right.
Dish them up anyways. I'm like, hey, everyone's sorry. We can toss them. Let's go out to dinner or whatever. And they're like, no, it's fine. It's fine. You can tell by the looks on their faces and the way it sounds when they're chewing. These things are horrible, right?
Did they sound crunchy?
Well, they were extremely crunchy. Like, I think one or two even disintegrated as soon as someone took a bite. That's how dry they were.
But they fought through for you.
They did. And, I apologized. Like, oh, no, they're good. Well, everyone's starting to leave. And I heard a few people as they're leaving, they're like, oh, my God, those were the worst ever.
Yeah. Well, you offered to go out.
Yeah, I did. I had deployment money, so I was going to pay for it all and whatnot. I was feeling all, very, very generous considering it was my screw up. But, I was devastated for like months and didn't touch a grill for a while.
What about now, man? Are you back to your grilling standards pre-Afghanistan?
Yeah. Actually with my wife now, she taught me how to do steaks really soft and moist and that right amount of pink in there. And so, my game's actually gone up.
All right. Let me ask you this. With the burger game, a lot of people have a lot of different techniques. Were you just good at actually grilling them to the right point of them being done, or were you throwing crap in there? Did you have your own recipe? I mean, was there something special about the way you were doing it?
So I had I don't really call it a recipe because I eyeball it every time. Like, I throw some oregano in there, a little garlic. Sometimes I'll chop up some red onion or an jalapeno and mix it in there, like guerrilla style, right?
Okay.
So I had that, but I would cook them at really high heats for only like a minute or two per side, so they were still really, really juicy and soft,
but crispy on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, it almost looked like a Burger King commercial or something.
Okay. I just wonder because I know everyone has a different technique sometimes. Sometimes it's just the straight ground beef and doing what they're doing. Other people, they'll put in a Lipton soup packet or they'll...
You can always tell the Lipton soup packet.
Well, to me, that dries it out.
It's just a definitive taste. You're like, okay, there's Lipton soup in there.
I'll tell you what, to me, that was an old school, just little easy trick. But I did it a few years ago for a group of friends. There was like a large group, right? So I was like, hey, on Saturday, I'm going to make burgers, blah, blah, blah. I guess they never had it. They thought it was awesome.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I just remember growing up with it, not all the time.
It's like a way to kind of stretch bad ground beef.
Looking back to how most of us grew up back in the day, you realize that is exactly what your parents were doing. Special burgers tonight, like, yeah, and you realize, hey, we're broke, so we're stretching his ass out.
Our question, who ruined the meal? How did they ruin it? Here we go. While making stir-fried noodles, guys, I somehow forgot that water existed in this world. I kept adding soy sauce. Ooh. When the liquid in the pan had evaporated. Instead of literally just adding splashes of water to keep the thing from burning, the whole experience had my wife Googling how much salt can kill you.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my husband actually a fantastic cook. He was a professional for several years. As a matter of fact, before that, in our early days together, he tried to make a lemongrass curry. Since we didn't have any lemongrass, he threw in some loose leaf tea. When we ate it, all these little lemongrass needles got completely stuck in our gums.
God,
in your gums.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd make that substitute. Like, let's just make something else.
Making hamburger helper. Didn't have any regular milk, so I used vanilla almond milk. Thinking that the other spices and such would maybe cover up the vanilla. Spoiler alert, it does not. Nobody even can fake their way through that meal. First of all, it's still hamburger helper.
Yeah, right.
So you're already kind of sad. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with hamburger helper.
Right.
But I've made it within the last decade or so, and I was just like, this is a very sad meal. It was tasty. Wasn't that I didn't like it. I just should have made like a bolognese and just boiled some noodles instead.
Dude, I haven't made it in probably 10 years, but it had to be like 11 or 12 years ago. I randomly one night made Hamburger Helper.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I had a buddy that lived in the same building. He just lived down the hall. Anyhow, they, like, showed up. They demolished it.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it just the original flavor? Because now they have all these different flavors.
They
When
got
we were growing
the
up,
chicken helper, hamburger helper.
It was just hamburger helper. I'm not sure
They
what
might
it's
have
supposed
two
to.
different things, maybe.
I don't know what it's supposed to taste like. It just tasted like hamburger helper. And like you said, it wasn't good or bad. It was just hamburger helper. Right. It's fine.
The best thing about hamburger helper is you're actually somewhat cooking the noodles within the sauce.
Yes.
And if you do anything in the world, just cook your noodles halfway through, then drain them, and then have a pan on the side and heat up some sauce in there, and then put the noodles in there and toss them and cook more. Because that way all the sauce gets in the noodles.
Instead of sliding off the side.
It gives it a little bit more flavor. Who ruined the meal? How'd they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Josh. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hola.
Hola. Well, I hosted Thanksgiving one year, and I made some Myers lemon cake with a little bit of herb in it. And my brother's girlfriend brought over some mulled wine. We all ate a little bit too much and drank a little bit too much, and the entire meal sat on the table for 2 days. Nobody ate a thing.
2 days?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
no
was
one.
in bed for 2 days.
Is that because everyone was sick or high?
High.
So, did they eat some of it?
There was some picking at it maybe a little bit, but, there was probably about 2 hours where we were at the stair landing just laughing.
So you smoked the weed, you didn't put it in the food, right?
No, I put it in the lemon bars. In the Myers lemon cake.
Oh, in a lemon cake. So you ate the lemon cake first. I understand. All right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, at least everyone had a good time.
We had a great time.
I
and then did nothing.
I've never been so high before that I did not want to eat.
Oh, I have.
You have?
Well, we were doing Weed Week, and this is when Robin was here. And I did not realize this at the time, but somebody brought us in a brownie. And I pulled my name out of the hat. It's my day to get high, so I ate the brownie. No big deal. And it's like 10 minutes before we go on the air. Then Robin walks into the office and says, "Where's the brownie?" I said, "I ate it already." She goes, "Did you eat the whole thing?" I said, "Yes, I did." "You were supposed to cut it into fourths." "Okay, well, I didn't know that." So Robin just says, "Are you okay?" I said, "We're going to find out." I have no idea. It hasn't hit me yet. I was not okay. I was stoned for like 3 days straight. I laughed through the entire show, went home, I'm still laughing. I explained to my wife what had happened. She's like, "Oh, my God, I laughed all night." So I wake up the next morning. I'm still laughing. And I'm like, "Babe, I can't explain it." Like, I'm still like super high, man. Like super duper high. But like, do you want to eat? You don't get the munchies, And so she's like, "You need to eat something." I'm like, "You're not wrong." Keep in mind, I'm laughing through all this. I'm like, "You're not wrong. I really don't want to eat. I just want something to drink." So I probably went a day and a half without eating, finally force-fed myself because I'm like, all right, it's getting unhealthy. But I was so high for so long that even though I'm someone who enjoys being high, I'm like, I'm tired of being high. Like, I need to get back to reality.
Yeah, some of those ones were 100 or 200 a pop.
I think mine was a 100 one.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. So I ate the whole brownie, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Who ruined the meal? How'd they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Sarah. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
How you guys doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well.
All right.
That is good news.
All right. So how I ruined a meal, it was me. I was born on Christmas. So my mom was cooking Christmas dinner and had to drop everything and go to the hospital and give birth.
Well, that's bad timing, yes. But
so wait, were like other family members bitching, like, "Well, I didn't get to eat Christmas dinner."
Yeah, right. Well, not so much that, but the only thing my mom wanted was the mashed potatoes and gravy, and that was the one thing that my aunt forgot was the gravy.
All right.
Yeah, gravy's important.
How long were you in the hospital? Were you able to give birth that day, or did you have to? Sometimes it takes a little while.
Oh no, I was born just a couple hours later.
All right, so you were ready. You were ready to rock.
They actually turned her away at the Forks Hospital.
They turned her away?
Yeah. We lived in Nia Bay.
Forks has a hospital?
Yeah, and they turned her away. They said, "You're not going to have that baby today." And then we went and got a motel room, and a couple hours, got in the door, turned around. Went back to the hospital, born like 2 hours later.
Okay. I was going to say, you have to think that would be a short-staffed day in the world of the medical
Yeah, Christmas
field.
Day.
Yeah, right.
That's not going to be easy to
Yeah.
pull anybody out of anywhere.
I'm shocked they even have a hospital.
Forks?
Have you ever been there? It's
Man, I have not been there yet.
It is a tiny town.
Why did you go? I know, because of Twilight, a lot of people went there, but everything I'd heard from anyone who went, even the massive Twilight fans who have traveled across the country, they wanted to see Forks. They're like, I'm glad it's close to Seattle.
I mean, I'd burn ass back to Seattle or Olympia or Tacoma or just drive south to Astoria. I mean, you got to
I went out there, so I got a cabin on the Salduck River.
Okay.
And it was outside of Forks. And then, you got to go see it. And then we wanted to go over to, what's it, La Push? I think that's the beach out there.
I think you're right.
Right. So, we didn't go over there to go to Forks. We were just
it's there.
It's there. And yeah, I don't know what I expected. I was like, jeez. Wow.
I think the woman who, Stephanie Meyer or something like that, whoever wrote the books, I'm pretty sure she admitted, she had never been to Forks, but for the purposes of this book and Vampire, she had to find a place that was dreary.
Correct.
And did her research, and Forks popped up, so she's like, perfect.
And it's pretty famous for the amount of rain and just gray days and everything. But yeah, there's not much going on. There's one little makeshift party bus that's the movie tour or whatever. It's just our Twilight tour.
Oh, Lord.
But it was also December. So, I mean, there was not much going on.
Okay. Good to know. Hello, Sarah. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi, thank you.
Hola.
Hola.
So, Sarah, who ruined the meal?
Oh, my amazing husband who's the worst cook ever.
Okay.
All right, that's fair.
Good at a lot of things, not cooking. Swine flu was horrible, completely knocked me on my ass. And I just told my husband after a couple of days, I just want some top ramen. Can you just make me top ramen? And so he's like, okay, I'll do my best. I'm going to try.
Wait.
So,
What are you thinking in your head when you say, can you make me top ramen? And the response is, I will do my best.
This is what? A cup of water boiled and
boil water, drop noodles,
drop
pull noodles
in
out,
the seasoning packet and put the noodles in, right?
Yes. I'm thinking this is the one thing I can ask my husband that you can't mess this up, right? It's so simple. You'd think. No, he eventually brings me a bowl of cold noodles with the seasoning just dumped on top. And I was like, why is it cold? And he said, well, I strained the noodles, thought that didn't look right. So then I just filled the bowl with some cold water.
What? How is he alive? I mean, how did he make it? And then you are attracted to him. Does he have a magical penis? What's going on?
He does.
All right, I was going to say, man, you're fighting through the dumb wall for some reason, and it's got to be good.
Top ramen.
'Cause if you brought me that, I'd be like, dude, I'm sorry, man. Listen, I just need to take a walk and think about things.
Has he tried to make anything else?
He has now mastered oven pizza. And
what do you mean oven pizza? Like putting a frozen pizza in the oven?
Yes.
This is the man who messed up top ramen. Let's go baby steps.
Did his mom hold his hand through
well.
life? Did his mom hold his hand through life?
Yes.
Okay, that explains some of it. So he basically
No, it doesn't.
He never
Not
did
top ramen.
He never did anything to feed himself until he left that home.
No, when I met him at college, I would go visit him at Georgia. He had no food in his apartment, like an apartment. We're not talking dorm. And I was like, what do you eat? And he's like, I just go eat at the cafeteria every day.
All right,
and
fair
all
enough.
he had was protein powder and Coke.
Oh, so Coca-Cola. All right. So
damn.
basically, you got a big, meaty Georgia dude who's buff, but doesn't know how to do anything else.
Exactly.
I think it might be sacrilegious in Georgia to not know how to cook. Once you get to the South, man, if you don't know how to cook, man, you're almost worthless.
I think you're fine not to know how to cook, but you better be married to someone who does.
Something.
He's from New Jersey, in case that helps.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, New Jersey has great food,
I
too.
don't know. Yeah. Can his mom cook?
No.
Oh, well, there you go.
Is he Italian?
No, he's not.
Okay,
I'd say there's no chance.
every Italian I know can cook. Sure. All right.
I wish he was Italian.
Oh,
yeah. But it still has a magical penis. Take what you can get.
Yeah, man. Whatever.
Jeez, whiz.
How do you mess up top ramen?
Just the idea of not being able to read instructions and being able to pull it off is what even if I have not made something before, I will look at the recipe, read the instructions. I might not nail it, but I'm not going to absolutely, completely, I don't know, make it to the point where it's not edible.
And again, this
I'm
is
not
top
deconstructing it or whatever.
ramen. How many instructions are on top ramen?
Boil a cup of water. Put
Put the noodle packet. Well, no, boil the noodles, right? Then add the seasoning packet.
You can do either one, but you definitely want to boil the seasoning packet because it's dry spice and you're making a soup.
Yeah, boil the water. You put the noodles in for 3 minutes, and then add
the seasoning. I mean, those are literally the instructions.
Yeah, I was
You've
just
made
wondering.
top ramen.
It's like there's instructions on a box of Pop-Tarts. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, who is this for? Put them in the toaster. Turn the toaster on.
Who ruined the meal? How did they ruin it? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Erica. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So my best friend, she went to make us tuna fish sandwiches.
Oh.
Super easy, right?
Yep.
I'm like, what is wrong with this flippin' sandwich? She didn't drain the water.
Oh, God.
She didn't drain the water. Added the mayo to it and made a sandwich.
How?
Yeah.
I mean, could it even stay on the bread, or was it just slopping out?
It was just kind of mushy, Yeah, I was like, how do you ruin that?
Did you ask
there you
her
go.
if this is how she always did it?
Yeah, hey, what's wrong with this sandwich? How'd you make it? Oh, and she explained it. I was like, oh, yeah, you need to drain that. I don't know how she's gone all her life without knowing that, but, yeah.
Yeah, God. She should marry the guy who made the top ramen.
I'd almost rather have the water, the
For real.
undrained tuna, than you cooking the tuna and me tasting the metal from the can.
Yeah.
I mean, tuna casserole out of a can, there's a very distinct metallic flavor that, and then there's the
Yeah, it's been
peas.
sitting in a can.
And it's just...
And now you're heating it up.
It's that is maybe the worst meal that my mom made growing up. I mean, you could smell the smell of the can when you walked into the home because the casserole was in the oven.
Right.
I'm just like, God, that was absolutely awful. I'd have rather...
Tuna and aluminum wafting through the house.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Two great
Tuna
smells.
casserole was kind of a big one, at least one day a week in my house, too.
I'm happy to say that is not one of the things my mother made.
Yeah.
Right, because my mom would just make, remember the bag of, egg noodles or whatever?
Yeah.
Sure, I like that.
Right, it was like those, the can of tuna, I think a can of cream of mushroom.
Something, yeah.
She would just cook it. But, yeah, I was never a big fan.
I can hear in your voice it's not bringing back good memories.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh. I mean, I
Did
honestly...
she like it?
But she absolutely loved it. And you got to keep in mind, my mom always worked a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
So she's just trying to cook something quick.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure we did it for years. And then I guess either me and at some point, we would eat so little of it. She just finally was like, okay, I'm not going to
get it.
Right? Like, I'm not going to make it anymore. Screw it.
Yeah, my mother used to make a tomato pie, which now is more like a frittata kind of thing.
Yeah.
But when she used to make it back in the day, just picture cherry pie with the crust on top, crust on bottom, and in lieu of cherries and the juice.
You talking about like a pie crust or like a traditional pie crust?
I'm talking like whatever Crisco sold, pie crust.
Okay.
And then there's a pie crust on top, and in between these crusts, it's just like stewed tomatoes and nothing else.
No seasoning.
No, and she loved it, and I get it. But that also became family dinner, and that was the deal where my mother, both of my parents, you cannot leave the table until you finish this meal. And without any argument, no drama, I would sit there until bedtime. Mm-hmm. Like, I would act, because you're going to be hungry. And I'm like, listen, man, I'd rather be hungry than eat this. And she would make it like once or twice a week. And I'm just like, why do you keep making this when, like, my father, I think, just forced it down because he's stuck being married to her. My brother has the same appetite as her, so he would devour it. But I'm like, man.
Okay.
Because my dad would tell, on certain occasions, not necessarily the tomato pie, but we'd eat certain things, and I'm staring at it, and I'm like 10 years old, and he would have a fork full of it in his mouth, and go, Stephen, I don't like it either.
No, he didn't.
He would openly say that, like, I don't like this either, but just eat it anyway. And I'm like, man, that's all you, brother. I'm not doing this.
I respect that. That's a
he was
dad move.
Yeah, he
though.
was straight up.
Like,
about
look,
it.
I don't like it either, but you got to eat it, dude.
Yeah.
So why in our adult lives do we not make food that just sucks that we don't want to eat and make that because of our kids?
Because it seems mean.
It does.
And unnecessary.
Like, is that because that happened to us?
Yes. I never
Is that
want
the
my
trigger?
kids.
I'm sure there's stuff you cook that your daughters didn't like.
But not that
Man,
they
I would
hate.
always ask them what they wanted me to make, and then I'd make what they wanted because I just wanted them to eat.
Yeah, you
So
just
I
want them to
I
eat.
just want them to eat. So like I was never like trying to force lima beans on them or something that was just like mixed vegetables. In
My
a bag.
mother made me eat a lima bean. I saw them on the plate. I'd never had them before, and something about them just told me, you're not going to like me. My mother, and so the whole family's getting on me at this point. Like, just try one, just try one, just try one. And I popped one in my mouth. I chewed it. I swallowed it. And, man, it was like a ricochet puke. Just all over the plate. And I'm like, I told you, man. I told you.
Who Sucks Less is coming up, and we've got your emails on the way next from the men's room at KISW.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the men's room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Now, with the MLB app, you can get baseball your way. Pick your favorite team, your favorite players, and get customized highlights, stories, and breaking news right on your home feed. Follow the action with Game Day, where 3D replays add another dimension. Plus, notifications can keep you connected to every pitch, every hit, every game. The MLB app. Baseball your way. Download it now for free from the App Store or Google Play. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You're working from home. You settle in with a cup of coffee, ready to get the day started. Before you look at that to-do list, turn on your favorite Odyssey sports station on your smart speaker. We'll keep you company and bring you the latest updates from your teams while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Power through the workday with the entertaining sports coverage you love from the local voices you trust. Just ask your smart speaker to play your favorite station.
Are you a bartender that dreads the phrase, hey, can you put the game on? At Sports on What, we understand your pain and we're here to help. Over-the-air, satellite, cable, or streaming, Sports on What knows what channel the game is on, and you can too. Follow your favorite teams, set alerts, and filter by provider to get the results you need. Stop wasting time searching and never miss kickoff again. Just download the Sports on What app, and you'll always know how to watch the game. Available for Android and iOS. Start your 7-day free trial when you download Sports on What and subscribe today.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Who Sucks Less is on the way, but first time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Jumping to the birthdays. Good evening, gentlemen. This morning, my girlfriend, Brianna, and I welcomed our second daughter into the world. Unfortunately, she's currently in surgery right now to repair a hole in her diaphragm.
So I took the time to email you.
Give our little girl a Sarah Palin, a little kid fish sandwich, and a Leroy Jenkins. Mommy and Daddy are going to be here every step of the way with our tough little girl. Thanks, guys.
So, suck it up, Cupcake Fish Challenge!
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins! And Thomas, hopefully your daughter's doing okay there. That's a scary way to start
your life.
Start your life that way. All bitches, today is my 28th birthday. Can I please get some Thrill Shotgun gifts? Miles' dad jokes, and the Dirty Germans telling my new wife of 2 weeks what she can do tonight. Thanks for all the laughs and bad jokes, gentlemen. That from Cody in Boston, Massachusetts. Get. Okay. Get. What is the difference between a Bigfoot and a Yeti? A Bigfoot and a Yeti. What's the difference between them?
Yeti costs more?
Ted, one's a little cooler. Where does Count Dracula buy his drawing supplies?
I don't know.
Pennsylvania.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense.
And guys, a buddy I know got hit by a rental car.
Oh, yeah?
He said it hurts.
It's an enterprising joke.
Thank you.
Yeah, as your wife of 2 weeks, I think she already knows what to do for you tonight. That's the beauty of being a newlywed. Next year for your birthday, she might actually need the advice.
Yeah, or you could just tell her you're playing John Adams and have her go down on the harbor.
Yeah, historical jokes.
He's from Boston.
Yeah,
Maybe Sam Adams. Good day, gentlemen. I'd like to give my friend Melissa the happiest of birthdays. Please give her a fish sandwich medley, the Dirty Germans, and Coach Ted giving out job-seeking advice. Thank you, guys. That's from Stevie, the Packers fan.
Can I get
a filet of fish sandwich?
So you know I got
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich?
Do I get a fish sandwich?
Put the cheese and the tartar on the side.
I want a fish sandwich.
Is it too early for a fish sandwich? Cheese and tartar on the side. I smell the fish sandwich. Maybe some pure relish in the morning. At noon and at night.
Can I buy you a fish sandwich? So you don't want a fish sandwich?
Yeah, tonight for your birthday, I introduce you to a little game I learned in Italy. It's called Kissa del Melissa. Don't worry, I'll kiss you right on the lips.
Yeah, maybe you can introduce her to one of those famous ham sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have some white baguette. Hi. How old was she, Miles? He doesn't say.
Oh, he does not mention how old Melissa is. No.
All right, I'm guessing. Need a new job, maybe a new career. I don't know. You know, back in the day, Coach did a little jiu-jitsu. One thing Coach learned was you tap early, you tap often. So I would say it's about numbers. Get that resume out there. Send it to a lot of places. Maybe some jobs are just, a little quick pick-me-up. Maybe you're bartending, barista or something. Doesn't have to be the whole thing, but, just get out there and get working. Make some money.
Guys, want to wish myself, Gene Allen, a very happy birthday, as I don't think my friends listen to the radio enough to catch the show like I do. How about a G's Louise, a barbershop quartet fish sandwich, and Mickey enticing me to spend my next check on a Disneyland trip for my 38th birthday. Sincerely, guys, that's from Gene Allen in Seattle.
Jeez Louise.
Can I get a fish sandwich? Oh, you know I gotta eat right. Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich? You put the cheese and the tartar on the side.
Wow, Gene Allen. That's a mouthful there. The old mixer doesn't trust people with two names, hyphenated or not. But the main thing is, come down to the park. Sometimes we have singles weekends. You gotta look on separate websites for that. There's also a lot of good food. And you can get drunk around the world. I can't recommend it, but I'll throw you out.
Guys, I want to wish a happy birthday to my amazing husband and baby daddy, Ed. 40 looks great on you, Eddie Bear. He's now a fourth-year apprentice electrician with the local 46. So maybe some dad jokes from Miles about electricians, if you could. Oh, and a bagel shop guy. Thanks for all you do, guys. That from the wife.
You're not God or my father or my boss.
Guys, what do you say when you break up with an electrician? What do you say when you break up with an electrician? What? What is love? Baby, don't hurts me. Don't hurts me no more. Wow.
Go home.
What? It's electrician jokes. They're few and far between. What kind of lights did Noah have on his ark? Mike, you're a biblical guy. What kind of lights did Noah have on his ark?
Like fireflies?
No, floodlights. One more you should get. You've been reading the Old Testament?
Yeah.
What's the difference between God and an electrician? What is the difference between God and an electrician?
God actually made the lights turn on?
God doesn't think he's an electrician.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It was good.
Let's see.
You know what electricians call sex?
What?
Direct current.
Love to get a birthday shout out to my
That's
husband.
an electrician joke, right?
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
Three-way would be alternating current.
Johnny Rotten's 50th birthday today. It is also my birthday, but I'm turning 45. Jen, a.k.a. the willing... Okay, I'll read the way you did it. Jen, a.k.a. the willing married crazy ferret lady, ha-ha. My husband also has a twin sister, so he's been used to sharing his birthday all along. So please send Johnny some green beans and the Dirty Germans. I'll thank you guys. That from Jen.
Green beans.
What?
Green beans.
Okay.
Green beans. Green beans.
Yeah, I'm just guessing as an adult, if you still go by Johnny as opposed to John or Jonathan, you're probably having more sex than the Dirty Germans.
Yeah, the funny thing is it's rotten on him, but you still have to play with it when it's sex time.
But y'all, today's my 46th. Been a hard week, and you guys always make the ride home a lot better. So, to make my day special, can I please get the Dirty Germans telling me about what the slang CU46 means and why it's a happy number? Thanks so much. You guys rock. Even Ted. That from Nick in Sultan, Washington.
Yeah, Nick was the big old... Yeah, CU46 is actually CU46, which is CU for sex. Yeah, that's why I go CU69.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we get to pick a number.
So I had to look that up today as well to see you for sex. But I will tell you this, whatever sex you're having, it's better than number 46 on Colorado University.
Yeah.
They suck, Miles. They can't win a game, and they don't shut up about being good.
Guys, this is my best friend Kevin's Big 5-0 today. We don't connect as often as we'd like, but he's still like a brother to me. How about I cut that bitch off? And look out. And ending with a Leroy Jenkins. Thanks a ton, guys, and rock on. That from CJ.
Cut that bitch off. Next caller.
Uh-oh, look out.
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins.
Hey, guys, can I get a fish sandwich medley in honor of my 54th trip around the sun? That from Bradley GT.
Can I get
a fillet of fish sandwich?
So you know I got
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich? Put the cheese and the tartar on the side.
I'll order a fish sandwich.
Is it too early for a fish sandwich? Cheese and tartar on the side. Oh, yeah. I smell the fish sandwich. Maybe some dinner relish in the morning. At noon, and at night.
I'll buy you a fish sandwich.
So you don't want a fish sandwich?
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Now, the men's room wants to know who sucks less?
Hey, time for Who Sucks Last. Steve Thrill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They all suck. It is up to us to determine, out of the 3 stories, which one sucks the least. Now, if you have to follow KISW on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Less.
Yes, indeed. And today, as always, we have 3 stories. 2 of them dealing with fraud. One is just bad. Let's start with fraud, and we go south of the border to Mexico, where a family has been outed as scammers after being caught on video placing la cucarachas on their plates at a restaurant so that they can then complain and leave without paying the bill. The Puerto Chalet restaurant in Guadalajara recently took to social media to shame a family of scammers who had threatened to make a scene because of a cockroach they had found in the dishes they ordered unless the restaurant agreed not to charge them for their meal. Now, management, they decided to give in to the patrons' demands just to avoid an unnecessary scandal. However, as soon as the family left, they checked the surveillance cameras and found proof that the whole thing had been premeditated. You see, the family of 4 could be seen enjoying a feast that would have cost them a pretty penny. Only at one point, the woman at the head of the table can be seen taking out a small container from her purse and emptying its contents over the plates on the table. The cockroach inside, well, doesn't want to fall out of the container, so the woman takes a fork and tries to force the bug out. Now, with the cockroach planted, the family calls a waiter and fakes outrage and disgust over the cockroach that they themselves had planted. After complaining about the incident, the family leaves the Puerto Chalet with all the food they had ordered packed to go, but without paying anything for it. Now, knowing how strict the restaurant's hygiene policy was, the staff immediately checked the surveillance cameras to see how the cockroach may have ended up in customers' plates, and they were surprised to see the patrons planting the bug themselves. They then uploaded the clip online as a cautionary tale. Well, after the video went viral, a number of ex-users came forward to accuse the same family of having scammed several restaurants in Guadalajara of using the same tactics. And clips and photos of the suspects, including the blonde matriarch who's been dubbed Lady La Cucaracha, have since gone viral online. So they didn't just do it at this restaurant. As soon as they posted it, other restaurants are like, yo, man, that same family had roaches in their food here and here and here. We now go to China, where a company is being accused of tricking hundreds of employees into conducting illegal activities so that it could then fire them without severance pay. So it's called CITIC Design Institute. It recently found itself at the center of a huge scandal after several prominent news outlets reported that it had fired around 200 senior employees after accusing them of crimes that one of its managers had lured them into committing. So apparently the company had been looking for ways to get rid of senior employees with high salaries without offering any financial compensation packages. So it had one of the senior managers lure those employees to various bars or clubs under the pretext of after-work relaxation, where they were tricked into engaging in illegal activities. According to some of the tricked employees, the manager set them up with sex workers and encouraged them to, quote, interact with them, while others claimed that they engaged in gambling and even intentionally lost some money to their superior to retain a good relationship with them, only to later realize they'd been lured into a trap. So after gathering dirty evidence on the employees, the manager will report everything to the company, and then their contracts will be terminated without compensation. As many as 200 employees lost their jobs this way. Well, the company's tactic, firstly criticized online, with some social media users pointing out that the terminated employees would have a very difficult time trying to find other jobs because of the record of illegal activities. So not only did the employer fire its senior employees without a severance pay, but it also compromised their chances of getting a job someplace else.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Dirty stuff there.
And I bet it seemed fun at first.
I'm sure. Look, I don't care who you are. In the moment that you're committing something illegal, it's generally an adrenaline rush or it's fun. But if it comes back to haunt you, that is a problem, right? And now we go to Australia, where authorities there say they've issued an arrest warrant for a man who poured hot liquid on a 9-month-old infant last week.
Jesus.
Sparking a national and international manhunt. Now, the incident occurred around midday in late August. The suspect, whom police described as a 33-year-old foreign national, has since left the country, and the police are working with national and international partner agencies in this investigation. Now, the Morningside Child Protection Investigation Unit identified the suspect, but on the day of the crime, a group of people were approached by this man, unknown to them, who poured a hot liquid on the baby before he ran away. Now, the infant was taken to the hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The child has since been released from the hospital. But security video shows a man running shortly after the attack. The man was last seen wearing a black hat. None of that part matters. This happened a couple weeks ago, but it's actually become an international manhunt for this guy. And there's no rhyme or reason for it. He just walked up. So again, the stories, we had a family in Mexico. This is a family. Keep in mind, they have not quite kids, probably teens with them, as best I can tell from the video, who are intentionally planting cockroaches in their meal so that they can get a free meal from whatever restaurant they are at. We have the company in China who's tricking senior employees into illegal activities so that it can be reported back and they can be fired without a severance pay. And then some coconut in Australia who, for whatever reason, decided to dump hot liquid, presumably coffee, on an infant before just disappearing.
Okay. I think it's pretty easy to say that, Miles, the guy in Australia sucks the most.
Correct.
I would agree with that.
Hot liquid on an infant is just evil beyond evil.
Yeah, totally. I don't know the job situation in China. Is it easy to get a job? Is it hard to give a job? These are hundreds of people, and that's their livelihood. So they can fire them without severance as well, which means that however long they work there, they might not get the retirement. They might not get anything.
They won't. That was the entire point.
So I'm hopefully with the internets and social media, the Guadalajara areas knows about this family now.
They do.
And even though they got away with it for a while, they have been caught. Hopefully it's not the biggest deal in the world, and they will not be able to dine in too many other places until they get busted again. So I'm going to say they suck the least.
I'm with you. I think the family in Mexico sucks the least, mostly because so I think you'll agree with me. Like, there's sometimes you're kind of getting scammed, but it's like, it's a meal.
It's easier.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, I did a bartender before. Like, you know what I mean?
You're
Like,
not fooling me,
somebody's
but,
completely wrong on something or whatever. It's like, you know what? No sweat.
We'll eat the cost.
I'll take it off the bill, even though you have no idea the difference between a black Russian and a white Russian. Not specific. So I think that sucks the least because it's like, all right, like, that's a scam, but at the end of the day, it's It's one family per restaurant.
I think someone on our text line put it best. They agreed. They said, look, I read ahead on KISW's Twitter. Mexico family sucks the least. Nobody was forced to break the law, and no one was injured, unlike the other two options.
Debate continues on Who Sucks Less if you follow KISW on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. All right, coming up, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You're working from home. You settle in with a cup of coffee, ready to get the day started. Before you look at that to-do list, turn on your favorite Odyssey sports station on your smart speaker. We'll keep you company and bring you the latest updates from your teams while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Power through the workday with the entertaining sports coverage you love from the local voices you trust. Just ask your smart speaker to play your favorite station.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, coming in just minutes, we'll drink and toast for the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check on Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. A new survey found that 25% of Americans actually don't remember 9/11.
Well, to be fair, third weren't born.
Exactly. That's kind of what I thought when I first read it,
They said 100 million people. Well, they weren't born when it happened, so you're not going to remember. And if you were probably 4 years old or younger, you probably don't remember what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's just time moving.
It's how statistics work.
It's now going to be in the history books, and now we're going to have kids, grandkids, whatever it is, come up to us and say what happened on that day. We get to be the ones that retell what happened.
I got to ask my parents what happened on when Pearl Harbor was attacked. You see?
There you go.
My dad's like, I was 4.
Right.
He's like, but I know what you know. It sucks.
And our parents, I mean, they definitely remember where they were when Kennedy was killed.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, I mean, that's the way history works.
Exactly.
Like,
at some point, not everybody's just going to know about it. It's not something to be disappointed about. They might learn it and then figure it out later.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes.
It doesn't mean that we're just letting it disappear.
Do you remember the Gettysburg Address? Nobody does.
Correct.
But we heard about it.
There you go.
I will say this. Nowadays, with the internet, you can look up a lot more stuff.
Of course.
Right, so early 2000s, when 9/11 happens, like, you stuff, dial up, this and that. Mm-hmm. So I'm working at the AFL-CIO. And I mean, every street corner for a month, at least 2 months, I don't know, for a while in D.C. just had Humvees and military, right? It was like legit kind of martial law.
Yeah.
And then because our building at 16th and I Street, it's just our building, that the church, you might remember it where Trump stood out there with the Bible.
Yeah.
There's a park, and then there's the White House. So we had to go in the garage. Secret Service was there. And then every night at like 6 p.m., they would pull out, 2 dudes would lift out these giant bags and put it on the back of the trunk of their car, the Secret Service car. So I realize now it's obviously surface-to-air missiles in case there was another plane. But I mean, we just were like, what the hell's in there?
Yeah.
No idea. But yeah, when you were that close to the White House, I mean, that security was...
Sure, tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, dude, it was crazy. Plus, at that point, I'm going to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, Crystal City, which is by the Pentagon.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it was just like every day I drove, it was just like, I'm living in it, just military equipment everywhere.
Man.
It was insane.
It was anarchy. Like, people were driving 120 miles an hour on both beltways to get home or to make sure that their family members were okay.
Sure.
Who worked, in any government agency, whatever the deal was. It was nuts.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was nuts.
Yeah.
I could drive like I normally do and people were passing me.
But you know what we didn't do? Play an EAS.
Right.
Yep.
I'm just
Still
like,
didn't get the EAS.
What has to happen where the EAS comes in handy? We keep testing it. What are we waiting on?
Criminy. Apparently, walking around the supermarket with a big cucumber in your cart shows that you're single and have an above-average Johnson in the UK.
Is that what that is?
What if it's just a pickle?
I know, right?
I thought they said that was a gay pickup thing for individual supermarkets. So it's kind of like a meetup.
Possibly.
Yes. Right. Yeah, I read the article. So I know you're not working on these. That's what I'm telling you. So basically, you go to an Aldi's on a Sunday between 2 and 4.
It's a specific day and time.
You go and you find the cucumber that best represents you. You put that in your cart, and then you continue to shop.
It's kind of like the old school, you'd show up at a supermarket from like 6 to 7 or something like that with the pineapple upside down in your cart.
Right.
Shows that you're ready to swing.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing here.
Correct.
I am missing so much at grocery stores, man.
I know, right? I'm just trying to buy my doggone pineapple. I don't need y'all coming up on me.
Why does everyone keep talking to me?
I'm just trying to buy my averagely small cucumber. You guys don't need to be making fun of me.
You know what?
I just like to walk around the Piggly Wiggly snacking on a cucumber.
Have you guys bought those baby cucumbers yet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Those
God.
are great.
Oh, what a game changer.
I like honestly, when I have cucumber talk, I like an English cucumber. Less seedy.
Okay, good call.
Cucumber talk.
I feel like cucumbers are also, they're starting to trend as like making, just kind of dressing them up. So
Gotta eat one every day for a month, Mike.
All right. You know what? I'll do it. I like it.
That's where all the cucumbers stuff. I forget who the guy is, and he's like, I'm eating one cucumber a day per month. So that's like people keep mixing it in with different stuff, and like,
gotcha.
How many different ways can you eat a cucumber?
Okay. So they basically, they got this little just Tupperware container that they cut it into coins, and then they toss it in there, and then they'll put like oil, and they'll put different spices like red chili flakes and whatnot, and then they'll mix up some garlic in there too, and then they just make good cucumbers. To be honest with you, if you've ever had the cucumbers from Din Tai Fung, those are fantastic. I love those.
Everything I've had from Din Tai Fung, I like. I just don't like cucumbers, but I believe they'd probably be the best cucumbers.
Yes, they would. Yes,
Again,
they would.
I don't know if they're health redeeming value, but they have the best green beans you're having in your life.
100%,
They are
bro.
so good.
Oh my God. Just sit there and eat it like candy.
Yeah.
Jeez, a whiz.
Can we make it a point sometime in the near future, all of us go to separate grocery stores on the same day at the same hours, just put an upside down pineapple and a cucumber in your cart, push it around,
I think you
and
stick with
see
the
who
cucumber.
approaches you. Really?
Yeah.
I'm going all in.
I don't mind doing the upside down pineapple. I know people, but like the cucumber, I just don't want to disappoint these women or that guy.
Smaller cucumber.
Well, yeah, that's my thing is they don't make a cucumber small enough for me.
Just get a little teeny tiny
That's
one.
right, just get little baby ones. I don't have this many, but I do have it this size.
One penis, but this is the size.
Hang on, can I just open this bag real quick? I just need to walk around with this thing. The weight loss drug, amycretin, is showing promise as a replacement for Ozempic.
Are we running out of Ozempic?
I don't know.
There's been a big run on it. My question is, what are the side effects of this?
Exactly.
Because we found out Ozempic, but like the side effects from Ozempic don't seem to be catastrophic.
Right.
But there's some physical abnormalities that seem to happen with people, right?
You're
So I'm
doing
just curious.
something to yourself chemically. It's going to change who you are chemically.
I got Ozempic butt.
Right. Miles, what day is it, buddy?
9/11.
You're absolutely right. It is also National Quiet Day. And while we do talk a lot on this program, but I also feel like the people in this room tend to go home and live a more quiet lifestyle, which does have its advantages.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 great things about living a quiet life. A quiet life does not necessarily mean a life of solitude. Say you decide to live off the grid in distant desolation. Imagine, just imagine for a moment how freeing that could be. No curious neighbors, just you, your thoughts, a few of your treasured things, and much like the yearning howl of a lone wolf. There's no one around for miles to hear the desperate, fleeting cries for help.
I got it, JD.
Little dark, brother.
Yeah. So these are... I'm getting worried about him over there.
He'll be all right. I was just like, yeah, damn. All right.
So these are some great things about living a quiet life. They say resilience. Living a quiet life can cultivate resilience. It teaches you to find strength and simplicity and adaptability in the faces of challenge.
Yes, that is very true.
There is, and it's weird, right? Because I'm obviously with, Jesus, what are the two types?
Extrovert.
Extrovert, right? I talk for a living, right? Like I thoroughly enjoy talking, but there is There's a certain point in the weekend where it's like, I need to just power down and recharge and not talk.
Your freedom to choose. Embracing a quiet life means that you have the freedom to choose what truly matters to you.
Yeah.
You can focus on your passions and values rather than conforming to societal expectations.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's less clutter in a quiet lifestyle. It often means decluttering, both physically and mentally. This can lead to a more organized and peaceful living space.
Without a doubt.
It's quiet. So this is more like
mind, body, and soul quiet.
Okay.
Mindful living. Living quietly encourages mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in each moment. This mindfulness can enhance the quality of your experiences and interactions.
You can also be completely disattached. It doesn't matter.
Right. But to answer your question there, Ted, living a quiet life often characterized by simplicity and a deliberate choice to minimize noise and distractions.
All right.
They say contentment. Again, these are the great things about living a quiet life. Many people find that a quieter life leads to a greater sense of contentment and inner peace. It shifts the focus from external pressures to internal fulfillment.
Yeah, without a doubt. Absolutely.
Right. Reducing environmental impact. A quieter life often aligns with a more sustainable and eco-friendly lifestyle. Consuming less and being mindful of resource use can reduce your environmental footprint.
I think it kind of depends where you live on that one, but maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, if I still live in the middle of the city, you can find your solitude and all that, but it's still just facts of life surrounding it.
You gain an appreciation for nature.
I was going to say, I think maybe if you lived a quiet life like outside the city, just naturally you wouldn't produce as much trash and everything because, I don't know.
You're not doing
near it, right?
No, you're not having people over. You don't need red Solo cups.
Living quietly often means spending more time outdoors and connecting with nature. This can lead to a deeper appreciation for the natural world and its beauty.
I would hope that if you spend more time in nature, you're also developing a deeper appreciation. Like, nah, still don't like it.
Some of the great things about
that would be kind of funny.
I'm not feeling the trees, man.
What's that old school show where the dude like kung fu? He's gonna walk the earth.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if like that show ended and he was like, "Yeah, it sucks.
I'm moving to Manhattan.
This is ass, dude.
I'm going to Vegas. Like walking around. There's a lot of bad places.
Every time I go hiking, I always remind him, like, yeah, you know what? This is boring, and I still don't like it, but I'll do it.
Dude, I got one for you. I remember the first festival I went to, right, over on the other side of Rainier.
Yeah.
Where the next morning, it's Sunday morning, had one of the best times of my life. I'm standing there with one other guy, and we're standing next to this river, peaceful, eagle flying. And I go, hey, man, you could live out here and just kind of be a hippie? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, what about you? And I go, no, I'd miss college football. I was like, this is really fun, but...
Can you order a pizza here?
Last time I saw that guy, we were eating pizza watching college football.
This is great for like 45 minutes, then I'm just done.
Yeah, I could spend 2 weeks out there in nature, but gotta get back.
That's right.
Somebody here says, does a quiet life include no kids? Because my two little S's at home definitely are not quiet.
I would imagine so. I can't imagine that kids would, not get in the way of all this.
Yeah, I mean, I could move into the middle of the woods.
Because one of the great things about living a quiet life is improved concentration, which I don't think kids have. Or give you.
Yes, they do not give that to you.
Less noise and distraction make it easier to concentrate on tasks and projects. This can lead to increased productivity and a greater sense of accomplishment.
I was going to say, kids, too, are weird, man. Like, I swear to God, I did not talk much until I was, 13.
Really?
I know, it's shocking, but I was, quiet.
Yeah, my kids don't have that problem. They've got plenty to say, man, no matter what I am doing.
Yeah, financial freedom. Quieter living often involves a more minimalist approach to consumption. This can result in financial freedom as you spend less on unnecessary material possessions, i.e. college football.
Less, but it doesn't mean financial freedom. And when I lived alone and I had no roommates, I was also dead broke.
Right. Enhanced creativity. A quieter life often provides a more conducive environment for creativity to flourish. With fewer distractions, you can focus on your creative pursuits more effectively. Maybe I'm not creative.
Yeah,
I'll just sit
if
there.
You're creative, yes.
Right. I got nothing to make. Better health. Lower stress levels and reduced exposure to constant noise can have positive effects on physical health. Studies have shown that quiet environments can lead to lower blood pressure and improved sleep.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, funny how that
It's called
works.
being calm.
Yeah, like Buddha didn't have high blood pressure.
Right.
Like the Dalai Lama, right? Like
they're fine.
He's good.
Are you sure he didn't have high blood pressure?
Who?
I mean, you look at his general weight as he's depicted.
But he was very relaxed.
He was chill, no doubt about it, but he had diabetes.
That was one of my early insensitivities when I was a kid. I remember going into shops and, they got Buddha statues all over the place, right? And I finally asked my mom, I was like, who's the big old fat dude? I was like, that's Buddha. He's a religious
I'm saying his
figure.
high blood pressure's through the roof. He's very inactive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's
that's a good point. He's very
serious. He's got a
sedentary.
beer gut.
And he just sits.
Rub my belly for good luck. What are you, my weirdo uncle?
Why is that the only Buddha we see? Because Buddha was a bunch of different people.
There's a bunch of different forms of Buddha. Absolutely.
Maybe he was the best looking
This
one.
is Genie in a bottle Buddha I'm talking about.
He was the best looking Buddha they had. And they said, all right, that's
big
the
fat,
one.
big fat.
Why have I never dressed as Buddha for Halloween?
Rat tail on top of the head. Buddha.
He's the skinny Buddha.
Yeah, here's the skinniest one we got, bro. Let's.
Again, Buddhas are like chefs. I don't trust the skinny one.
I don't trust that skinny Buddha.
And then this is the number one. This is getting bad. This is the number one great thing about living a quiet life. Sorry, everybody. Less stress. A quieter life typically means fewer stressors.
Yes.
There's less hustle and bustle, which can lead to a reduced anxiety and a calmer state of mind.
Sure. Thank you for that.
Live a little bit quieter, kids.
I mean, outside of like your own anxiety, like most people are not putting stresses on themselves.
No!
Yeah. Yeah.
A couple in San Francisco finally figured out who was ruining their aloe plants, Miles, and I'll tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. Have we made it to drinking time?
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You're working from home. You settle in with a cup of coffee, ready to get the day started. Before you look at that to-do list, turn on your favorite Odyssey sports station on your smart speaker. We'll keep you company and bring you the latest updates from your teams while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Power through the workday with the entertaining sports coverage you love from the local voices you trust. Just ask your smart speaker to play your favorite station.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You're working from home. You settle in with a cup of coffee, ready to get the day started. Before you look at that to-do list, turn on your favorite Odyssey sports station on your smart speaker. We'll keep you company and bring you the latest updates from your teams while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Power through the workday with the entertaining sports coverage you love from the local voices you trust. Just ask your smart speaker to play your favorite station.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Have you seen the latest essentials from Express? They are so good. Super easy, everyday pieces that go with everything you already own. Seriously, like these Pima cotton tees, I mean, give me one in every color. Or their 1MX shirts, hands down the best button-downs out there. And don't get me started on that denim. I never knew a pair of jeans could fit me this well. I'm telling you, get in-store or online at express.com now to shop the new essentials at Express. You won't regret it.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. and the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And first, we need to thank one of our more astute listeners for forwarding the story our way. And really, it's not even a story. This is a celebration of baseball. And today, we toast 29-year-old pitcher from the MLB's Tampa Bay Rays. Now, he previously played for the Kansas City Royals, the Oakland A's, and the Chicago Cubs before joining the Rays, actually earlier this season. I want to say back in May. Now, he only has 3 wins and 6 losses this season. So you're probably saying, why are we toasting him? Well, we're toasting him because this guy, he had to overcome the fact that his parents hated him since the day he was born. And that explains why they named him Dick Lovelady. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, your Tampa Bay Rays pitcher, Dick Lovelady. Now, that said, accurate name, but I just don't know that is the name I would give my child if the last name was Lovelady.
Pitchers. It's always a pitcher.
Really?
Yes. Do you remember when the Mariners traded
Wackenbush or what was his name?
Detroit Tigers, Charlie Furbush?
Furbush, yes.
For Pfister.
Yes. That's a great trade. Furbush for
John
Pfister.
Or David Pfister. I can't remember the guy's name. Doug Pfister, whatever.
Yeah.
It was Pfister for Furbush. I remember that was a headline in the Seattle Times, and I about fell off my chair.
Maybe it is a pitcher thing.
Just like, Jesus,
son, I gave you this stupid name. You got a career
I'll
in baseball.
take any one of your jerseys.
Yeah. Oh, God, no doubt. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The men's room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, please, everyone. Now, Profile This is played.
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, George. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, Jorge, you understand how this here game was played?
Yes, sir, Mr. Hill.
Fantastic. You have your choice of 1 of 3 stories. Today, we offer you the wonderful world of drugs. We have interior decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. And finally, today, we offer you Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
We're going drugs.
Going drugs. All right. Police say that a man high on drugs tied a woman up and fired a gun through the window of his Cordova home Thursday night. Now, no one was injured in the gunfire, but one DeAndricus Ford. He was charged with aggravated assault, reckless endangerment, false imprisonment, and being a convicted felon in possession of a handgun. He may as well have just added littering to that, for Christ's sake. Now, police said that when they arrived at the house, they found Ford had barricaded inside a bedroom with this woman. The woman said that she'd met Ford only a few days earlier, and when she arrived at his house, he was already hallucinating. The victim said Ford thought that he was in danger and began barricading them inside a bedroom by piling dressers and mattresses at the door. Now, she said Ford accused her of trying to set him up and then tied her hands behind her back with a sheet or a towel. Now, the victim said that Ford threatened to shoot her, placed her in front of a window as a shield. Keep in mind, no one's looking for him, but placed her in front of the window as a shield and began firing a gun above her head out of the bedroom window. Police said the shooting happened in a residential neighborhood with several homes nearby. Good news is the bullets didn't hit any of the other houses. He was arrested, but before they took him to jail, he was transported to the hospital for a mental evaluation, in which case I'm going to help him out. Homeboy is crazy. Anyway, what drug was this dude on? Was it crack, PCP, meth, or mushrooms? So crack, PCP, meth, or mushrooms. What was this dude on as he barricaded himself and this poor woman inside of his bedroom and fired gunshots?
Oh, man, that sounds like meth 100%, but what do you guys think?
Did it started in a car?
No.
Oh, I thought he kidnapped her.
He did not kidnap her. She had met him a few days earlier.
Okay.
He invited her over. She agreed to go. And when she got there, she said he's already in a state. He's already hallucinating. And thinks that he's being hunted by someone or whatever his deal is. barricades himself in there, and then determines that she set him up for these imaginary people that are looking for him. You know, typical date night.
George, I'm going mushrooms.
Wow. I'm going to go PCP.
Ted goes PCP.
Dynamite.
Where you at, George?
I'm going to go meth.
Meth.
It does seem like a long meth bender would get you there.
What was this guy on? Crack, PCP, meth, or mushrooms? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You're working from home. You settle in with a cup of coffee, ready to get the day started. Before you look at that to-do list, turn on your favorite Odyssey sports station on your smart speaker. We'll keep you company and bring you the latest updates from your teams while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Power through the workday with the entertaining sports coverage you love from the local voices you trust. Just ask your smart speaker to play your favorite station.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Apparently Miles is taking a dump or something.
Goodness gracious.
Or passing.
They're both gone. Are they both just caught in? Did they fall in?
No. Now, Miles did threaten to quit because I beat him in arm wrestling.
Oh,
yeah, you know, he's very sensitive about that. He's got these girly arms.
Earlier.
He has very small arms.
Is that 2 poops a day?
I don't know. I know that he pooped earlier. Were you pooping or was that a pee?
Out of poop, man.
Oh, Miles Montgomery joining us on the program.
Life happens.
You just pooped like an hour ago.
Pooped the last break.
How much poop you got in you?
Dude, I've been doing
You're
it
like a pinata.
About to say, are you just eating the cucumbers all the doggone time?
Category on profile, this was drugs. Man high on drugs tied a woman up and fired a gun in his own home. He was high and paranoid, and he was arrested. Question is, was he on crack, PCP, meth, or mushroom?
And, George, that's the very question that we posed to you. Miles, you went with the old mushroom.
Seems logical.
It does. People hallucinate. Sometimes bad things happen. You know, I have a hard time with that. I know people hallucinate a little bit. I've just always had fun on mushrooms. Like, every time. They've done me well, if I were to do them. Ted,
sometimes they talk to you.
They do, but somehow my conversations with shrooms are always good. Thrill, you good, man. I know shrooms. Let's keep rolling.
You saw me the last time I was on shrooms, and that was after that I was like, nope.
You were on a lot, though.
I was
blaming the shrooms.
I know you are.
I was with Mike and some family members, we'll say, one of the last times I did shrooms, and I was having a good old time. Good old time.
Just us and the fuzzing.
And the fuzzing, that's right. I'm not firing guns, and no one's barricaded. The Ted Smith, you went with PCP, which actually makes the most sense, all things considered. And George, you went with methamphetamine.
Oh,
and
correct.
You are correct, sir.
You think she was going over there to do meth with him?
Probably. I feel like if someone's on meth, you met them a few days earlier, I'm sure the conversation happened. Hey, I got a supply. Why don't you come by? And look, I like my drugs. If you said you got my drugs of choice, I'll swing by. But it would suck if by just you opening the door to greet me, you're already in like the worst phase of your high.
And before I even get to smoke it, I'm tied up.
Yeah,
I
that's
also
a good
bet.
point.
I bet there's terms. We just because we don't do meth, we don't know. But there's got to be some term.
What, for like freaking out on meth?
No, to like if you're in a bar, she only met him 2 days beforehand, and now she's going to his house.
Oh, right.
So I'm thinking they must have met in a bar. He must have said something, and they're like, oh yeah, we do meth.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Messing around.
That's right.
But
I know if it was that, Mike.
Thanks, Mike Tyson. Now for all TV news all the time, and it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today. You got Stephen Colbert, the Jimmy,
Fallon and Kimmel,
Seth Meyers, Tomlinson, Taylor, or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there. Tell you what, guys have teams and challenge writers help them come up with monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a the Ted Smith original?
Tonight is the first presidential debate between former President Trump and Kamala Harris. And I, for one, can't wait to watch an old white guy talk about black jobs while actively trying to take a job from a black woman.
Lady Ted Smith.
Ted Smith.
Damn. I came up with that in the shower this morning. I came in, I was like, I saw Mike at like 11:45. I was like, Mike, I got it. I got a heater.
What did I tell you?
You said it was a good joke, but they know it was me.
There you go.
How'd you know it was me?
Last night.
Yeah. Just a vibe, you know, just a vibe, man.
Damn. All right. I was amped to the shower, dude. I was like, got him. Many residents of New Jersey town say it smells like cat urine, as opposed to what it usually smells like, human urine.
I'm against Myers.
Fallon.
Seth.
Residents of several New Jersey towns have reportedly complained that they can smell a foul odor that is reminiscent of cat urine, as opposed to what it usually smells like, human urine.
Tell you what, cats are hot right now.
Yes, they are.
I mean, it's everywhere.
Might be part of our poll tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
I don't even. All right. Connecticut has put pizza capital of the U.S. on some of the road signs. Okay, I see what's happening. Nothing means anything anymore. You can just say whatever you want about your state. Great news. New York is now the home of the 1990 Chicago Bulls. 6-time NBA champions right there, and the birthplace of Gandhi.
Kimmel.
Colbert.
The new Welcome to Connecticut sign now includes the words pizza capital of the U.S. Okay, I see what's happening. Nothing means anything anymore. You can just say whatever you want about your state. Great news. New York is now the home of the 1990 Chicago Bulls.
Whenever Jake Portnoy...
6-time NBA champions right there, and the birthplace of Gandhi.
Connecticut does look like it has some really good pizza.
Because it's close to New York and New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's all.
Connecticut also they have tomato pie. They can make a claim to having some of the first pizza. But
sure.
To say it's the capital, I think it's tough. Right, I'm just saying.
No, I know the look on your face.
Yeah. Just disgusting. McDonald's and Crocs are serving a Happy Meal with a miniature Croc keychain. It's the first time McDonald's and Crocs have teamed up since they released McNuggets.
Jesus. Colbert.
Fallon.
McDonald's and Crocs are teaming up to offer a Happy Meal with a miniature Croc keychain. Yeah, it's the first time McDonald's and Crocs have teamed up since they released the McNugget.
Look, I'm not going to... This is a TV segment, so I'm not going to get too far off the track here. The issue with pizza stuff, and Miles, I'm with you. I thoroughly enjoy, Boyd and I doing a one-bite review. He's at least clear on what his standards are.
All right.
And I think that's what, people argue forever about New York pizza versus Chicago pizza and this and that. It just depends on what you like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not like crab cakes, where Maryland crab cakes are the best.
My latest thing is a tavern-style pizza from Chicago. One of the best pizzas I've had. Probably then 2 or 3 years.
Is it deep dish or is it a thinner
No,
crust?
it's a thin crust pizza, and it's awesome.
See, I like the deep dish pizza. Now, but you got to understand, it depends on the moment. If I get, say, New York-style pizza, which most people know is pizza, I'm eating pizza. Deep dish, it's a different commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting at a table. I'm probably not watching a football.
I've been on a quest to make Detroit-style pizza now for
how's
3
that
or 4
worked out?
months. I've not made one good pizza yet.
Go to Little Caesars. Also, look, some of my favorite pizzas, let's just go coast to coast. I love Pagliacci. I also love Lido's in Maryland. Distinctively couldn't be more different.
No, they could not be.
All right, so I got a list here of TV's best opening credit sequences. Right, so it's not just the theme song, but the whole scene, how they set it up, and this and that.
Okay, all right.
So I will go through. We have some audio for the top 10, but just let's see. Number 15 was the Brady Bunch.
I'm trying to.
Here's a story.
And they have the windows.
It never deviated from the windows, did it? Or is it my imagination? I'm pretty sure it just kept the 9 windows, right?
But it is pretty iconic. I put it up there with, the weirdo dude, the painted Campbell Soup stuff.
Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
The weirdo dude who,
Weirdo dude.
Sadly, that was a great description.
You know what I'm talking about. I wonder if the Brady Bunch was the inspiration for Hollywood Squares.
Ooh.
Just based on, that look.
The Real Housewives franchise makes the list. I've never seen an episode of it.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Only Murderers in the Building.
Yeah. My wife and I enjoyed that show. They have a great, the opening sequence is cool.
I've got to watch that. Steve Martin, Martin Short, that's just the dynamic duo of comedy. And I need to start watching that show.
The show is ridiculous. It's kind of stupid, but it's exceptionally well done. It's an easy watch.
The Mary Tyler Moore Show made the list. Top 15. I never watched that one. That's predates me a little bit.
Okay, fine. It predates you. I remember.
Sorry.
All right, youngster.
Yeah, I know. Friends also makes the list.
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
Now for the top 10 of the best opening credit sequences. You know what? Since you have them in there, just out of curiosity, start the music a little early. I want to see if they'll know the show.
Beverly Hills 90210.
Yeah, correct.
I hate that I know that. I never actually watched.
Well, it's an iconic theme. It's like an iconic intro.
It is, man. And I mean, honestly, I feel like somehow, sadly, the deaths that have surrounded that show and everything else, it's like people kind of long for that show more now than they used to.
Well, and then watching that opening sequence, it's like watching that in memoriam at the Oscars. As they're bringing all the faces up, they're like, "Oh, damn, they're gone, they're gone."
But I'm telling you, man, when I was like in grade school, I think grade school, and like I don't. We were religious about 90210.
So Shannon Doherty and Luke Perry.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Tori Spelling's career.
Those are two main. Those are two main characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they both just died really young with sad, tragic deaths.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, next on the list, number 9, Mike. So this is a show that's had like 5 seasons, but each season is a little different. And like the cast of characters changes.
Then I'm going to guess American Horror Story.
Oh!
Just because the music is dark and heavy, and your description, I'm like, okay.
It is a neat show. I think I watched the first 3 or 4 seasons, something like that. But he's absolutely right. Each season has kind of a different theme. It tells a different season of a horror story, as it were. It's just
kind of like True Detective.
Yeah.
Right. Different detectives, different crimes.
Exactly. And it's spooky. It's an odd.
I saw the first season, and I did enjoy it. I need to get back to it.
All right, number 8 on the list. You guys will know this one, and it's a great, right? The Sopranos.
Oh yeah,
right. He's just
the tunes
driving around. This is like some of the songs, like the Rembrandts got famous for Friends, but this is just a cooler song.
Yeah,
like I would just listen to this in general.
I'm surprised this song did not make radio airplay.
It did.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and it just fits when, the sequence of him just driving down the Jersey Turnpike, this feels like you're just cruising down the road music. This is perfect.
Yeah. Gabagoo. All right, number 7 on the list.
Early to rise, early to bed.
This one predates me a little bit.
In between,
Alice?
Was this the theme to Alice?
Yes.
I used to watch the show as
Is
a
she
kid.
the maid from Brady Bunch?
No. This was an entirely different show. She was, if I remember this correctly, she was like a single mom. She's driving across the country, as the way the show is set up. Halfway to her destination, she needed money and takes a job at this diner. And then the whole show was about her working with coworkers.
Oh, yeah. My mom loved that show.
Who has a complex enough background? We need to make a show, The Maid from Brady Bunch.
I'm out to hell with these kids.
That's right.
Yeah, she's out back chain smoking, drinking out of her flask. Like, honestly, I hate the whole family.
What number are we on?
Number 6.
Number 6.
So you got
number 6.
Number 6, Mike.
Number 6.
Sex in the City.
Sex in the City. And another good, famous opening, right? She's walking through the city and stuff.
I don't remember the open. I remember the music, and my wife, like many people's wives, watched it religiously.
Yeah, I used to just watch it for the Kim Cattrall sex scenes.
Yeah,
it's that old of a show.
I feel like they did that more in the early seasons because then I'd act like, I'm just getting a glass of water. Oh, hey, I'll sit in for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and back then there wasn't DVR, so you couldn't pause it. You just had to get it done.
Get it on.
All right, number 5 on the list, one of the most famous ones.
No
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Great sequence to start. It explains the whole story. He shows up. He's at the mansion. Everything works out.
Well, how do they get to Bel-Air? Do they drive?
No.
Sure, he flies.
He flies out there.
They fly.
But then a cab picks him up, and it smells.
Right.
Smell
He
you
does
later.
for sure fly there because when he gets into the cab, there's a big Hollywood sign on the back. So he flew to Burbank and then
Burbank.
They got in there.
All right, number 4 on the list. Be interested if you guys recognize this one.
Number 4.
I need to pick this show back up.
I need to watch it, period. People love it.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
And I put it down for a while, never got back to it.
Do you like brown liquor? Sexually harassing coworkers?
I like all those
Smoking
things.
indoors?
Smoking at work.
Mad Men.
Oh, okay. You know, I never watched the show.
Sexually harassing.
But I like everything
Hammond?
you just said. Yeah, John Hammond.
It's kind
The
of
Office whore.
John Hammond has huge penis.
All right, number 3 on the list.
Number 3.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller.
All in the family.
Yeah.
Songs that
Classic.
That almost sounds like Family Guy.
You know what?
She does.
Didn't they kind of emulate that when they made the Family Guy theme? It was kind of just it wasn't exactly a spin-off of All in the Family, but I think it was inspired by it.
And look, Seth MacFarlane has a great voice.
I cannot believe the jokes they get away with. The more that I watch that, I'm like, we would be taken off the air.
I know.
With half the jokes that they do, I'm like, wow, you went there.
Yeah, no
It
kidding.
never ceases to amaze me well that they can get away with.
So he was Archie Bunker, right? What's his real name?
Carol O'Connor.
But was he really racist? Because
Not at all.
No. Oh, no.
I don't think he was super not
he's a
racist.
good actor.
And in the heat of the night.
No, in the Heat of the Night was a much different show. Apparently, he was like one of the more charitable and kind people in Hollywood. But like anything, because he is Archie Bunker, people had a hard time accepting that. You know, where other actors like, dude, he's a nice guy. He likes everyone. Like, no, he doesn't. He doesn't like black people. He's like, my God, it's a character.
Number 2.
Darrell, you know this. You watched it late, but you enjoyed it.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
You know what? I don't remember the music. I do remember the opening sequences.
Well, that's
it changed a little bit.
This list is of the sequencing of the intro
not
and the
right.
song.
We just added the intros. I will also say this, right? Like, Game of Thrones epic series, that's just a good song. Sometimes I just hear it over sports stuff.
You know what's funny about the Game of Thrones theme? Because I watched it, we started it maybe a week after the entire series ended. Mm-hmm. I rarely heard this music because of that. Fast forward.
Oh, that's a great point.
I could skip
opening
to
sequences,
sure.
like I do it all the time. When I like really getting into a series,
yeah,
I'm with you, man. Like I hit skip intro, and then I kind of forget. Like, this intro sequence is
but
pretty cool.
We would watch the first episode of each season because they changed it a little bit to kind of follow the storyline,
the map a little bit.
Right, but after that, like skip.
I love the preview again to go. Oh yeah, that happened.
Yes.
Just to catch me up. So I always watch.
No. We're not talking about the recap. We're talking about skipping
the intro, the
actual the sequence.
Game of Thrones. I
This
definitely
is
needed
the
the
10
recap.
best opening sequences.
Dolly Parton.
Simpsons. Yeah.
Spells it out. It's always funny. Somebody's going to get squished out of the couch.
I think that South Park got ripped off on that one. Not that they shouldn't be number one. They should be in the
call, Miles.
They should be in the top 10.
Yeah.
Just based on how they do their intro, what you see, the
It's
character
short,
development.
it's sweet, it's to the point, and to be honest with you, I feel like I watch the intro every time and I'm never bored of it.
Yeah. Somebody said what the hell is it? Drew Carey show should be in there.
It's not a bad intro either.
I thought, you know what, honestly, I thought Married with Children, that sequence is good. It ends
that
with
was a great one.
ends with the fountain, right? Sinatra's playing, ends with that giant fountain in Chicago.
Love and marriage.
Let's see. If you're interested, the 2024 Music Video Awards, MTV are on tonight. If
you're interested, because Katy Perry just hit mute, but
Is
she's
that
going to
not,
look sexy.
is Eminem, is he the guy that's hosting that?
He opened it. I don't know if he's hosting. I don't know.
He's hosting it.
I don't know who Tate McRae is, but I'm glad she wore that dress that looks like Britney's old dress. Strong.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. A man whose car was going to be repoed straps a propane tank to the top and tries to blow it up. Meanwhile, a California family's backyard is destroyed. The culprit, a coyote pup. To Victoria, where a woman breaks into a home, takes a shower, and then won't leave. Yes, officer, one too many margaritas at Chili's is why my car did weave. And a woman gives birth to twins that she cannot tell apart. It is time for your headline.
Now, it's time to hit the head. headlines. Here's my cock.
At our top story, we go to San Francisco, where a couple has finally figured out who was ruining their aloe plants. They had spent days trying to figure out what trespasser was coming to their home in the dead of night to cut out their aloe plants, believing that they were using some kind of precision cutter. In their efforts, they came out one day to find not only their plants ruined, but several holes poked into one of their garden hoses, leading them to believe that the intruder wasn't human after all. Over the next few nights, they caught glimpses of an animal that confirmed their suspicions. A rambunctious coyote was wreaking havoc in their yard.
That coyote had the nicest skin of any coyote out there.
They called animal control, who was eventually able to wrangle the dog and relocate him to a more natural habitat.
Do you know, ironically, I heard some coyotes last night.
They're in the hood, bro.
I know. I just sometimes you got to wake up at 3 or 4 and pee. Mm-hmm. And I was just I'm laying in my bed. What is? I'm like, son of a bitch. Coyotes.
Yeah. That was always the creepy part living out in Enumclaw, and we're getting there. As the fall sets in and the winter weather's on its back, you just start hearing them crying out in the middle of the night. It's like, that's spooky as hell.
Yeah, I tuned my driveway, and it was a typical Seattle winter night. So it's about midnight. It's already dark, but there's just that fog hanging on the ground. I have kind of a long driveway. I'm walking the dog, go to turn up the driveway, and I see 2 sets of green eyes looking at me. And I'm like, I physically cannot see what it is. And I'm just like, oh, man. But my dog had no reaction to it, which for my dog is insane because she reacts to everything.
Right.
She just kept sniffing around. So I'm like, okay, if the dog's cool, I was going to walk toward whatever this is.
Yeah.
I walked a little slower than I normally do, but I walked up, and then they kind of turned to the side to run off. And I saw their silhouette, and I'm like, I'll be damned.
That's when the 2 from the outsides just attack you.
They got me from behind, man.
In other news, speaking of trespassing, our next story takes us to Vancouver, Canada, where a couple were approached by a strange woman. She was a sickly-looking woman who looked like she was in bad shape chemically and was shouting about the military to come to get the 2 if they didn't get out of her house and demanded that they leave immediately. It wasn't her house. Knowing that they were dealing with someone that wasn't all together upstairs, the pair locked themselves in the house, but mistakenly left their upstairs suite open, which they were cleaning at the time of her arrival. The woman took advantage of the opening and locked herself inside until police arrived. They attempted to negotiate her way out, but she took her time to take a quick shower before complying with police. They did eventually bust down the door to apprehend her, but there was no report of any further resistance once they got inside. The family said that they don't plan on pressing any charges. They were like, we don't know if she's on something, if she needs to be on something, there was nothing malicious here. She's just out of her mind.
Yeah, just crazy.
Yeah.
So
drug-free crazy.
I get that. Yeah, that's almost scarier sometimes.
Right.
Like you're legit just crazy.
Yeah.
Right. If you're a jackass, then I can have some sort of prediction as to how you're going to react and what you're going to do.
If you're on drugs,
if you're legit crazy, yeah.
She's in our shower.
Right. They could hear her rustling around up there. She gets in the shower, and how does that somehow make the shower dirty?
It makes it crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, somebody spends the night or whatever, I have no issue with people using my shower, but like a stranger, that would seem very odd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even Mike, even if you I don't know, if you brought one of your friends that I haven't met and you showed up, you're like, hey man, Tim just needs a shower real quick. I'd be like, cool, but this is weird.
Right. This is we need to talk about this.
Yeah. As soon as he got in the shower, I'd be like, Mike, what the F, dude? Right. Why doesn't Tim shower at his own home?
We spend the entire time that he's taking a shower just talking about why the hell is he in my house taking a damn shower? What's he got going on, man? Why doesn't he need my shower?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on. Over in the UK, a new mother is making a ruckus about baby order. She was pregnant with twins during during her terms, she and her husband created a foolproof order of operations following the birth of their 2 girls. Planning their lives, naming the 2 of them while they were still in the womb, their plans were derailed following the actual birthing process. She was forced to have her babies via C-section, which would not have been an issue if her babies were not removed in the quote-unquote wrong order.
Oh, come on, man.
Right. We've got this figured out. Baby A is going to come out first. Baby B is going to come out second. Due to them coming out in reverse order than what was expected, they were given each other's names at the time of birth because baby A was going to be named Dahlia or Delilah, something like that.
Yeah.
Baby B was going to be not Azalea, but
how do you say
Azella.
as a doctor? I pulled out the wrong one first.
I know, right?
What does that mean? You have twins. Whichever one's coming out's coming out.
But this
you cut line on the ferry? Sorry, in this case, okay, we gotta let you go.
You also know which baby you're pulling out. I get, like, if you're...
How would you know unless they're different sexes?
No, but she even said they pulled them out in the wrong order. Then switch their names, you
That's like
dumbass.
saying my second turd was supposed to come out first.
Right.
How do you know that?
She's like, Delilah was the bigger of the two, and Azella was the smaller of the
Then
two.
switch the names.
But now it's backwards, and it confuses me.
Oh, my God.
This woman's going to be a mother.
Did you also see her?
She looks like the type that would make a commotion.
This is not... Yes, this is not...
She looks...
There's nobody home.
This is my opinion. She looks like the type that is doing this just so that she can get her name in the news.
Yeah,
Look what they're doing. My God.
The doctor's like, yeah, they're healthy.
Right.
That's the least of our concern.
They're fine.
You could just switch the names.
Don't worry.
They're not going to know.
Neither of them will be heartbroken that they have the quote-unquote wrong name until you just sit there and scream from the high heavens when they're old enough to know that they have the wrong name.
But you need a license to fish. Come on.
Despite this glaring faux pas, they've elected not to change their names and to make do with the situation that
Then
they're in.
don't complain.
Right.
Jesus Christ. Hey, we gave you the wrong milkshake. I'm fine to take this, but I'm going to give you a bad Yelp review.
Exactly.
Dumbass.
Men's Room Sports. The Mariners tripped out of the gate in the opening game against the Padres, losing here at home 7-3. We've got game 2 on tonight at 6:40 over en route with Brian Wu taking the mound. We've also got some WNBA basketball over on Fox 13 tonight as the Storm hits Los Angeles. And speaking of Seattle basketball, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver was asked this week about expansion discussions happening with the league, to which he responded that they're not quite ready to have those talks just yet, but says that there's certainly interest in the process and that the interest remains high in Seattle. He also mentioned that they would be keeping an eye on the exhibition game taking place right here in Seattle at Climate Pledge Arena next month between the Clippers and the Trailblazers.
I know, come on, dude. Wasn't it supposed to be this summer? They just keep pushing it back.
Exactly.
Just do it or don't.
There's a few details.
Yeah,
legally
there's more to this. So he said it's not fall right now.
Yeah.
It's fall, dude.
Right.
Well, technically not to the 22nd when summer
Yeah,
ends.
you know
But
what?
we'll sum it up
you're
right.
We're going to wait till we
You're
got the TV deal done to have these talks. Wait, we just got the TV deal done.
There's
We're
a
not
few
ready to
legal
have these
issues
talks.
going on. I'll tell you right now. Vegas and Seattle, congratulations. Welcome to the NBA.
Yeah, right. It's
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's just right. I get
That
it.
is
There's some
what it
things behind the scenes, so
Yeah.
he legally can't say it, but hey, Vegas and Seattle, congrats.
As far as your weather, the clouds are sticking around tonight, cooling things down to 56 with a slight possibility for rain, but things are going to warm up a bit tomorrow as we can expect some afternoon sun and a high of 69. That's it for headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the head chef, Ted's Meat and Potatoes. Big Dummy, the lovely Jolene is up next.
Yes, indeed, it is all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
You're working from home. You settle in with a cup of coffee, ready to get the day started. Before you look at that to-do list, turn on your favorite Odyssey sports station on your smart speaker. We'll keep you company and bring you the latest updates from your teams while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Power through the workday with the entertaining sports coverage you love from the local voices you trust. Just ask your smart speaker to play your favorite station.